On day 1, I spawned into the Aspen Forest as Tails, the awesome two-tailed fox, the best friend of Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, I'm a little baby Tails. This is adorable. Still, I can't wait to get bigger and stronger. But before I could even think about that, I was hit by a crossbow bolt and wounded. I turned and saw a big, scary armored Vindicator coming through the trees towards me.
Well, if it isn't Tails, I've been searching for you. You and your little blue speedster of a friend have had it too good for too long.
Wait, you mean Sonic? He's not here. I'm just Zozo playing as Tails. What kind of problem do you have with me?
You seem to think I'm some common Vindicator, that you can trick me. You're wrong, Zozo, if that is your real name.
It is!
I am a machine designed to destroy pesky little animals like you. And you may know my creator's name, Dr. Robotnik.
Oh no, not him. Anybody but him.
He gave me a mission. I have to destroy you in 100 days. And believe me, I will never fail my mission.
He talked a big game and looked like he could back it up, so I turned and ran for my life. I may not be as fast as Sonic, but that doesn't mean I'm not cool and tough. I'm gonna figure out a way to stop this evil robot from completing its mission. On day 2, I went deeper into the Aspen Forest, keeping a low profile to avoid being spotted by that terrifying armored Vindicator. If he was made by Dr. Robotnik to hunt us down personally, he's gotta be one tough customer. I've got 10 hearts, and I'm already injured, and my hunger bar is way too low. I've gotta get some food immediately. Lucky for me, surrounded by all these trees, it wasn't hard to find an apple tree and fill my inventory with yummy, healthy fruit. An apple a day keeps the armored Vindicator away. But that didn't mean it'd keep every enemy away, because soon enough, a frozen zombie came shambling towards me through the trees. A frozen zombie? What are you doing all the way over here?
I'm another one of Dr. Robotnik's experiments. I'm not just a frozen zombie, I'm a cyborg zombie.
That's just one more reason to run away from you really, really fast. And so, I did. I ran away, regretting that I didn't have Sonic's super speed. I managed to escape the frozen zombie cyborg, but on the way out, I almost stepped on a blob of slime. Ah, gross.
Hey, that's not very nice.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you could talk. I'm Zozo.
And I'm Blowbert, the conjured slime. You look a little anxious there, pal. A little green around the gills. Have a healing potion.
Blowbert gave me a healing potion, which I eagerly drank, feeling my hearts replenish. Phew! That was exactly what I needed. Thank you. It's a relief to know there are some nice people around here.
Very kind of you to say so. Come with me. A good friend of mine has a camp around here. You'll want to warm your hands by nightfall.
That's an offer I can't refuse. Lead the way, Blowbert. On day 3, I followed Blowbert through the forest as day slowly turned into night. Thank you for being so friendly to me, Blowbert. I feel like all I've done since I've gotten here is run away from scary people who want to hurt me.
I know how it is. This may surprise you, but people aren't exactly friendly to us conjured slimes. We have to deal with a lot of meanness from people, so I always try to be kind to others.
After a little more walking, I'd found the campfire Blowbert told me about. I went over and saw an iceologer warming himself next to the flames.
Hello there! I trust you're a friendly one, or you would have started attacking me by now.
You're right. I'm Zozo, and I'm on the run from Dr. Robotnik's armored Vindicator robot.
Ah, Zozo, it's a pleasure. I'm Ivan the iceologer. I was here studying the ice caps until that dastardly Robotnik melted them to resurrect the frozen zombies. So now I'm hiding out too.
Wow, Robotnik really has ruined everything out here. Is he still in the overworld?
Nope, he left this dimension to go and trouble others, and left that armored Vindicator robot to rule on his behalf.
Wait, so that means if I defeat the armored Vindicator, not only will I solve my own problems, I'll also save the entire world?
Well, theoretically, but surely nobody can defeat the armored Vindicator.
That's not gonna stop me from trying. From day 4 to day 5, I left the campfire with Blowbert and went exploring for a perfect place to make a base of operations.
Why make a base, Zozo? Isn't it better to stay on the move?
Rest is important, Blowbert. Plus, with a base, we can work on building defenses for ourselves in the event of an attack.
That's pretty sound logic. I guess you can have this wooden pickaxe I've been saving for a special occasion.
Blowbert gave me the wooden pickaxe, and while I didn't want to look ungrateful, I did use it to immediately mine into the ground and gather enough stone to make a stone sword and pickaxe. Sorry, Blowbert, stone is just more effective. But to make it up to him, I started building a cool little base with 2 rooms. One for me to sleep in, and another one for Blowbert. It wasn't much, but at least it'd be a roof over our heads.
Wow, Zozo, this is amazing. With a room to sleep in, I won't need to worry about someone stepping on me while I'm sleeping.
But that didn't mean I could afford to stop being alert. Once my base building for the day was done, a vicious leap leaf came running out of the forest towards me. There was no talking it down. Instead, I pulled out my stone sword and started attacking. Soon enough, I defeated the leap leaf and gained enough XP to level up. I got bigger, stronger, jumped up to 30 hearts, and got an all-important new power, flying! This is awesome! Now I'm really just like Tails! From day 6 to day 8, I decided to put my new flying power to good use. I took off and soared all the way to the Basalt Barrera. It's so cool to see this place from above, but I could stand to get a closer look. That's why I flew down to the ground and started exploring. But it seemed that Dr. Robotnik's price on my head expanded even beyond his creations, because the second I touched the ground, an icy creeper came running towards me. Back up, back up, back up! Boom! The icy creeper exploded, leaving a huge crater in the ground. And I was able to safely descend again.
Great Scott! That was amazing, lad!
I turned and saw a rugged mountaineer emerge from behind a rocky outcrop. He came towards me, showing no signs of aggression.
The name's Michael the Mountaineer. But sadly, I've got a terrible sense of direction, so I still haven't found any mountains yet. Say, would you mind doing me a favor?
Does it involve helping you find a mountain?
Oh, you'd think so, but no. This rascal, the Vindicator Chef, used to be the personal chef for Dr. Robotnik when he was still around here. He needs to be taught a thing or two.
Well, it's not like Dr. Robotnik and his men can hate me any more than they already do. Let's do it! From day 9 to day 10, I followed Michael the Mountaineer through the Basalt Barrera until we came upon the Vindicator Chef. You stay back here, Michael. This could get tasty, and not in a good way. With Michael hanging back, I went in to confront the Vindicator Chef. But he seemed a lot gnarlier than you'd expect from a humble food service worker.
This sad little fox. My brother told me you'd be coming. I'm preparing a special meal for you. 3 courses, an appetizer of surprise, a main course of fear, and humiliation for dessert.
All this food for me, and all I'm gonna serve you is your words, Vindicator Chef. But I soon regretted being so arrogant, because the Vindicator Chef was not to be trifled with. He defeated me soundly, and all he could do was run away. Right back to Michael the Mountaineer.
Is everything okay, Zozo, old chap?
This chef is way more dangerous than I thought. I'm gonna need some better training and weapons before I can take him on. Wanna come stay at my base in the meantime?
Happily, I can search for more mountains there.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Michael the Mountaineer and immediately set about making him a chill little bedroom attached to mine and Blowbert's.
This is a truly wonderful little abode, Zozo. And in exchange for your hard work, I made a few little upgrades of my own for you.
I looked around the base and saw that Michael the Mountaineer had built a new storage room for weapons, armor, and supplies, and a furnace for smelting materials. This is awesome, Michael! Thank you! In fact, you've inspired me to do a little searching. That's why I explored an abandoned mining cave in the depths of the aspen forest, which was every bit as deep, dark, and creepy as you can imagine. But lucky for me, I found a vein of iron ore and used my stone pickaxe to dig it up. Once I'd collected enough, I went back to my base and used the furnace to smelt it into workable ingots. I used those ingots to make myself a cool iron chestplate. The best offense is a good defense, I've always said. The only thing the base was missing was some livestock, so I went about finding some sheep in the aspen forest and shepherded them back to the base. I built a little fence around them with enough space for them to roam freely. Now this base is feeling a lot more like a home. From day 13 to day 15, I once again spoke to my friend Blowbert. I needed advice from a goopy guy who knew his way around the block, so to speak.
I'd say you should start investigating the clues Robotnik left behind before he left the overworld. I know he had a present in the Basalt Barrera and the cold swamplands, so maybe there are clues for how to defeat the armored Vindicator out there.
Hey, it couldn't hurt. That's some great advice, Blowbert. Thank you. I flew out to the Basalt Barrera first, seeing as it was slightly more familiar territory. I started searching around for an entire day, but I couldn't find anything. However, a frozen zombie found me.
You're too late, Zozo. We've scrubbed this place of any evidence of Dr. Robotnik's plans. And next, we're going to do it in the cold swamplands.
Wait, so that means you haven't done this in the cold swamplands yet?
Oh, crud! Me and my big mouth. I better destroy you now to save face.
I flew into battle with the frozen zombie, and after a tough fight, I was able to finally take him down. And when I did, he dropped some kind of potion. Well, I am a little thirsty. I drank the potion and suddenly felt myself getting bigger and stronger. I had 60 hearts now and a new power. I slammed my fist into the ground, shattering a bunch of the blocks below me. I guess I had some strength that even Knuckles would be proud of now. From day 16 to day 19, I flew into a totally new location, the cold swamplands. Can't say I'd want to build a summer home here, but if Robotnik used to have a research lab here, it's worth checking out. I touched down and started searching. I was actually searching for 2 whole days when I finally found a ratty old book laying in the swamp. The cover read, Robotnik Research Notes. That sounds like a real page-turner. Part I read said, the overworld research subjects have been mostly disappointing. The Vindicator Chef was a complete failure, and the frozen zombies are mostly weak. But the armored Vindicator and the Dread Beast are extremely promising. The Dread Beast? Eesh, that doesn't sound good. My reading time was interrupted by another frozen zombie trudging towards me through the swamp.
You'll never survive my undead wrath.
I'm not afraid of you anymore! I ran in and defeated the zombie as quick as a flash! Sonic would have been proud of me if he'd seen it. From day 20 to day 22, I decided it was time to treat myself to a cool set of new gear. I've enjoyed stone, but I think I need some metal to take it to the next level. And where better to find metal than in the old mining cavern? I ventured back in and mined up a bunch more iron ore, which I then took back to the furnace at my base. Before I knew it, I had an iron sword and iron tools. With these, I think I can settle an old score. I flew back to the Basalt Barrera with my new gear and made a beeline for the diabolical Vindicator Chef.
Ready for me to cook up another whooping for you, you worthless fox!
Actually, I was thinking I'd cook this time. And I did. With my iron sword, I served up a heaping helping of Defeat the Vindicator Chef. In a flash, he was gone. And if I can defeat one Vindicator, maybe I can defeat another.
Are you so sure about that, Zozo?
I turned and saw the armored Vindicator was standing right there. I had my sword ready, but he was too fast for me. He fired an energy blast at me that took off way too many of my hearts for my liking. So I turned and flew off. I was wrong. I'm nowhere near strong enough to beat him yet. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base to give Michael the Mountaineer the good news.
Zozo, welcome back, old chap. You're looking mighty cheerful. What news do you have?
I did it! That Vindicator Chef is toast!
Oh, I do enjoy a spot of toast. Oh, I see. You mean you managed to defeat him? Marvelous!
Yeah, it was pretty great. I do have a craving for toast now, though. I thought about making some toast, but instead I decided to satisfy a different hunger. My hunger for mining. I climbed back into the mines and found some more iron ore. Then, I took my freshly discovered ore back to my base and smelted it in my furnace. After making some iron ingots, I was able to craft an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I was trying on my new gear when Michael the Mountaineer approached me.
Afternoon, Zozo! I do appreciate your help with that terrible chef. I hope you'll allow me to express my gratitude, especially since I've already completed my gift for you. It's a new perimeter wall to keep us all safe and sound.
I love it! Thank you so much! From day 27 to day 31, I flew back to the cold swamplands to continue investigating the area. I wonder if I can find more research notes or something even more helpful. I searched the area for days without finding much. I was starting to get pretty discouraged. I was getting ready to turn around and head back home when a friendly illusioner walked up to me.
Excuse me, are you the fox that was here a while back? The one who totally wrecked that frozen zombie?
That sure sounds like me.
Rad! So, listen dude, I'm stoked you did that and all, but I kinda need some more help, if that's cool. You got a place I could crash for a while? I'm scared more of those frozen guys are gonna come through here.
Sure, you can come back to my base with me.
Sick. Thanks, dude.
I led the illusioner back to my base and left him to get settled in. Then I visited my sheep and collected some wood from them. With more people staying here, I want to spruce the place up a bit. I think some decorative banners will do the trick. Putting up all the banners took a little while, but when I was done, I could tell the hard work was worth it. I wish Sonic could see this base. I bet he'd be really proud of me.
I'm sure he would, Zozo.
Lobert, uh-oh, you look pretty upset. What's wrong?
I'm afraid Ivan's in trouble. He needs our help. I only hope it isn't already too late.
From day 32 to day 35, Blobert and I rushed to the aid of Ivan the Iceologer. We followed the glow of his campfire, but when we got to the campsite, the cozy hideout was overrun with Dr. Robotnik's frozen zombies. Where's Ivan? I don't see him.
Don't worry, Zozo. I'll look for him. You handle these horrid creatures.
While Blobert continued searching for Ivan, I ran as fast as I could and started slashing my way through the horde of zombies. When you're in a situation this dire, you've got to go fast if you want to survive. Take that, and that, and that! It was tough fighting so many of them, but I was a much better fighter than I was when I first spawned, and I was able to defeat almost all of them. I was about to finish off the last zombie when he started laughing. What's so funny?
An eye for an eye, Zozo. You may have destroyed my friends, but we destroyed one of yours too.
What? No, not Ivan!
Look at you, so sad. Are you gonna cry about it?
Maybe, but right now, I'm gonna do this! And with one final blow, I destroyed the last frozen zombie! From day 36 to day 39, I was desperate to get my mind off of losing Ivan. So I took off and flew all the way back to the Basalt Barrera. As I looked down at the landscape, I could see a geomancer trying to get my attention.
Hey, you, over here.
I began my descent and landed right in front of him. Hey, did you want to tell me something?
More like ask you something. Hi, I'm Jeff. I've been studying rock formations around here for a long time now, and my research has been going pretty well. Or at least it was, until this super aggressive Cyclops showed up. He's been stumping all over the area and refusing to let me take any samples. He threatened to squash me if I tried again.
Yikes! That's no good!
Think you could help me get him out of here?
I'll give it my best shot. I took off into the air again, and with such a great vantage point, it wasn't long before I spotted the Cyclops. Hey, any chance you'll leave if I just ask really nicely? He didn't say anything, he just tried to attack me. Okay, well, I tried the easy way. Time for the hard way. This looks like a job for my Hulk smash. This time, it was the Cyclops who got crushed. Jeff the Geomancer was so relieved when I told him.
Thank you. I can't wait to continue my research. I'm trying to find new ways for people to protect themselves from the Armored Vindicator, you see.
He and his frozen zombies just destroyed my friend, and they're trying to get me next.
Oh dear, you'd better be careful. If you think his frozen zombies are bad, then you don't want to meet the Dread Beast.
I keep hearing about this Dread Beast. I really don't like the sound of him.
Nor should you. He's a vile creature and an extremely difficult force to defeat. Be careful out there. If you're taking on the Armored Vindicator, you'll certainly cross paths with the beast too.
From day 40 to day 43, I soared through the sky all the way back to my base. When I landed, I saw Blobert waiting for me.
Zozo, welcome back. Look what I've been up to. I added some bookshelves and couches to the base. It looks pretty cozy, right?
Sure does. What gave you the idea to do all of this?
Well, if it isn't too much trouble, I was hoping we could invite some of the other conjured slimes to stay with us. It's a pretty dangerous world out there for a slime, and you've given me a really safe home. I'd love to share it.
Go for it. They're welcome here. The next day, a whole group of conjured slimes arrived at the base. Make yourselves comfortable, everybody. I love making new friends. After I greeted the slimes, the illusioner came to speak with me.
Hey man, I could use your help with a, gnarly problem of mine. You think you could fight a Gorgon for me? One stole my pet axolotl and took him out to the cold swamplands. And I'm not strong enough to, well, get that little dude back on my own.
Sure, I'll do my best. From day 44 to day 49, I flew to the cold swamplands in search of the missing axolotl and the Gorgon who took him. This place is starting to give me the creeps. I hope I don't run into any more trouble out here.
A foolish hope, Tails. Your days are numbered, and soon I will fulfill my purpose and rid the world of you and your little hedgehog friend.
Ah, the Armored Vindicator! I keep telling you, Sonic isn't here, and I don't have anything to do with this.
No more lies! Your days are numbered, Tails, and soon they will run out. Mark my words, before they do, I will have destroyed you. If I don't, Dr. Robotnik will deactivate me for failing my mission, so I must not fail.
Pretty harsh. Maybe you should fight him instead of me.
Silence! I've had enough of you. Deathworm, handle this pathetic fox.
As the armored Vindicator ran off, a huge, terrifying Deathworm slithered towards me. From day 50 to day 53, I faced off against the super intimidating Deathworm. With a name like Deathworm, I'm guessing you're not just looking for a hug.
I will destroy you, Tails.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I can't let you do that. I like being not destroyed. So, Hulk Smash! I slammed my fist into the ground, sending the Deathworm flying backwards. While it was disoriented, I rushed at it with my sword and won the fight. Some Deathworm? You weren't so scary. I saw something drop on the ground where the Deathworm fell. Oh hey, what's this little note? It says, from the desk of Dr. Robotnik, the armored Vindicator is my most promising creation. A tough combatant with no mercy or fear, but his weakness against diamond-based weapons is unacceptable. I must find a way to correct this. Wait a second. This sounds like diamond weapons might help me get the upper hand against the armored Vindicator. I hope that's true. As I was leaving the area, I noticed something sparkly in the crater where I fought the worm. Mystical diamonds! This will come in handy later! From day 54 to day 57, I saw a tiny little axolotl waddling through the cold swamplands. Hey, little guy, are you looking for your owner? He seemed to trust me and started approaching me when a Gorgon suddenly jumped in between us and attacked. You must be the pet napper. Don't you know it's wrong to come between someone and their axolotl? She didn't answer me. She just kept trying to attack. Luckily, I had my sword ready, and with a few swipes of my blade, I made that Gorgon history. Come with me, little guy. I took the axolotl back to my base and delivered him back into the arms of the Illusioner.
Hank, I missed you so much, buddy. Thanks, Zozo. You're a real good dude.
From day 58 to day 62, I expanded my sheep pen to give the sheep more room to graze and walk around. Can't stop thinking about that note. I think I really need some diamond gear. Back to the mines! Down in the mining cavern, I dug tirelessly until I happened upon some diamonds. Perfect! Using the diamonds I mined and the diamonds I got from the Deathworm, I crafted a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. If I were the armored Vindicator, I'd be pretty nervous right about now. When I got back to my base, Blobert was practically bouncing with excitement.
Zozo, come look! I made the perfect hangout space for us, and the other slimes, and anyone else who wants to visit or stay here.
I followed him, and he showed me a new living area, complete with a fireplace. You did amazing work, Blobert. I'm so glad you're staying here with me. From day 63 to day 66, I was down in the mining cavern digging for more useful materials. I can't find anything. I wish I knew what I should do next.
Well, Zozo, my good chap, I believe I can be of assistance with that.
Ah, Michael, you scared me.
Apologies for the surprise, but an old chum of mine from the Dark Forest sent me a letter, and I believe she can offer you some valuable information.
Oh, thanks. I left the cavern and took to the skies, flying to the Dark Forest. When I landed, a gray hippogriff emerged from the shadows right in front of me.
I've been waiting for you, Zozo.
Stay back, I have a diamond sword.
Oh, gosh. No, I didn't mean it like that. I'm Michael, the Mountaineer's friend. My name is Gracie. I have some information for you about the Armored Vindicator. If you can help me with something first.
Sure, what is it?
Well, there's a troll trying to drive me out of my home here. I'd be able to focus on helping you out if I knew he wasn't going to try anything. But I'm too weak to fight him myself.
I'll give it a shot. From day 67 to day 70, I waited with Gracie for the bothersome troll to show up. After a day, he did, stomping up to Gracie and roaring in her face. She hid behind a tree to get away before he could attack her. Hey, leave her alone. The troll turned his attention to me, roaring and charging right at me. So I attacked with my new diamond sword. That nasty troll didn't stand a chance. You can come out now, Gracie.
Thank you so much, Zozo. Now for the info I promised you. The Armored Vindicator lives in an abandoned laboratory near here. I think it used to belong to Dr. Robotnik. It might even be where he was created. I can show you which way to go, if you want.
Yes, please. Just point me in the right direction. From day 71 to day 74, I followed Gracie's directions and began my search for the abandoned laboratory. I don't see anything but trees. I wonder where the laboratory is. It's so hard to find what I'm looking for. But it's not hard to find more Zozo videos. All you have to do is search ZOZO, and there they are. Finally, I spotted it. A big, creepy abandoned laboratory. Yes, this must be it.
You made a grave mistake coming here, little fox.
The armored Vindicator had snuck up right behind me. I tried to attack him with my diamond sword, but he was still too strong. Uh-oh, I guess my diamond weapon isn't enough. I'll need to get stronger too. I didn't want to, but I had to run away before he did too much damage to me. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base and stopped only when I reached my room. Can't believe I had to run away. I thought I was ready. I guess I was wrong. I didn't want to face my friends while feeling like a loser, so I just went to lie down in my room. Sometime later, I heard someone entering my room. Who is it?
Hey, dude! We wanted to give you some good vibes, so we made some rad improvements around the pad. Come check it out!
I followed the illusioner and saw that everyone had built a watchtower. Oh, wow! Thank you. That does make me feel a little better.
I also brought you a present.
Blowbird handed me a magic golden apple. I took a bite and immediately felt much better. Not just because I needed a snack, but because it made me transform into a bigger, stronger fox. My hearts increased to 100. I was so excited. I spun around and I unleashed a whirlwind attack. Well, that's new.
Maybe that's just what you need to get the advantage in your battle with the Armored Vindicator.
From day 79 to day 84, I flew back to the dark forest, feeling confident. When I landed, I spotted a siren attacking a pink pixie. Well, I wasn't going to just stand there and let that happen. Hey! When the siren looked at me, I blasted her with the whirlwind attack and it blew her away. I could get used to this.
Thank you. You saved my life. I wish I could repair you.
No worries. I'm just glad I could help.
Wait, I can. I forgot I was carrying this. Here, I hope you'll find it useful.
She handed me a sparkling new diamond helmet. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you. I put it on right away, and I felt tougher than ever. From day 85 to day 89, I flew back to my base in a really great mood. I had a new ability, a new helmet, and a new confident attitude. When I landed though, I got a feeling that something was really, really wrong. I was right. As I approached my base, I could see a horde of frozen zombies crawling all over it. I even destroyed our new watchtower. Stop it!
We would if you would accept your doom at the hands of the Armored Vindicator.
Never! I used my whirlwind attack to knock the zombies over, and I tried to chase them, but I lost track of them in the woods. While I was trying to see which way the zombies went, I spotted a cockatrice. Hey, did you see some frozen zombies run through here?
I sure did. I can tell you where they went. If you do me a favor and help me break open this here chest. I lost the key, and I can't get it open.
I broke open the chest with one swipe of my pickaxe, and the cockatrice grabbed the book that was inside.
Hooray! My Mima's recipe book! Thank you, kind stranger. They went that way.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the cockatrice's directions and tracked the frozen zombies to the abandoned laboratory in the dark forest. I should have known they'd be here. I was about to confront the frozen zombies when a huge, terrifying dread beast emerged from inside the lair.
I see you, Zozo. You can't hide from me.
Uh-oh. Well, if I can't hide, I guess I have no choice but to fight. With nothing else left to do, I drew my sword and got ready for battle. From day 95 to day 97, the dread beast rushed at me and attacked. I dodged, but he was fast and strong too. This is gonna be my toughest fight yet.
It was always going to end here. Accept your fate, and I will make it quick. So I can't promise it won't hurt a lot.
No, I won't give up. I can't give up. Not just for me, but for everyone that Dr. Robotnik and the Armored Vindicator want to harm. I summoned all my strength and Hulk smashed the ground, toppling the Dread Beast. Then I used my whirlwind attack to keep him down. Finally, I finished the battle with my diamond sword. I did it! I did it!
Fool! The battle has only just begun. After you, my master will obliterate your little blue hedgehog friend. Then the echidna will be next. You will all suffer.
With those last words, the Dread Beast was gone! I won't let that happen. I know now that I need to make sure I don't lose this final fight. I've got to go home and make sure I'm really ready to do this. On day 98, I flew back to my base, where all of my friends were waiting for me. I decided to speak to each one of them, one by one. First, I spoke to the Illusioner.
Hey man, how are you feeling?
I'm scared, but I'm determined. I can't back down, no matter how nervous I am. Then, Blowbert.
I know you can do it, Zozo. You are a truly impressive hero, and you've done so much for me and the rest of slime kind. You'll defeat the evil once and for all. Here, I brought you this to protect you.
Blowbert handed me a royal shield. Thank you. And finally, Michael the Mountaineer.
I don't have much to gift you, old sport, but I do have this potion of strength. It's just as reinvigorating as a nice spot of tea.
I drank the potion and immediately felt more powerful. Thank you, all of you. I promise to do my best. On day 99, I flew back to the old laboratory in the Dark Forest to face off against the Armored Vindicator. Let's do this. There were a ton of frozen zombies stationed in front of the entrance. Oh great, it'll take me forever to fight through those guys. Just then, Gracie the Gray Hippogriff emerged from a hiding spot behind a tree.
I'm here to help. I've been training, and I think I can fight for myself now, and also fight for you. Let me handle the zombies. You take care of the big guy.
Thank you, Gracie! While she rushed at the zombies, I slipped inside the Armored Vindicator's lair. On day 100, I entered the laboratory and confronted the Armored Vindicator.
So, it's come to this. Prepare to taste defeat, Tails. I won't be deactivated by my creator. I will serve my purpose.
We don't have to do this. You could just walk away peacefully, or even come stay at my base. I'll help protect you against Dr. Robotnik.
You can't trick me. Stand and fight me. This is what I was made for.
He charged at me and attacked, and I knew I had no other choice. I used my whirlwind attack to knock him out of the way. Then, it was all about the sword fight, and I could tell my diamond sword was doing some damage. He got in a few good hits, but I kept going. I got knocked down, but I got up again. He couldn't keep me down. Finally, I struck one more blow, and he fell for good. I did it! I won! I wish I could stick around to see Dr. Robotnik's face when he finds out he lost, but I don't want to be here when he comes to inspect the lab. Time to go back home and celebrate. Gotta go fast. On day 1, I spawned into the Aspen Forest as a Speakerman. 10 hearts. Uh-oh, I better play this safe, or I'm gonna be in real trouble. But I didn't have time to form a strategy. Suddenly, the trees started setting fire around me. Some even exploded. What's happening here? Out of the fire stomped my worst nightmare, the many-legged, fully operational G-Man Spider Toilet, the leader of the Skibidi Toilet Army. Oh no, you're the last thing I wanted to see.
I'm the last thing you'll ever see, Speakerman. The Skibidi Army will conquer this world, just like it conquered all the others.
Not if my speakers have anything to say about it.
Speak to this.
He blasted me with his laser eyes, knocking me off my rhythm. He was far too strong to fight. All I could do was turn around and run. I ran through the woods, hoping to avoid the laser blasts. When the G-Man was gone from view, I took a moment to relax, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. Literally and figuratively. A swarm of normal Skibidi Toilet came out of the trees, all fixed with malicious intent on me. I was outnumbered and out of luck until Sonic Boom! A blast of sound fired out of me, pushing back the advancing toilet squadron. That gave me just enough time to turn and get the heck out of Dodge. The Skibidis are here already. I need to warn the Alliance before they take this world too. On day 2, I went into survival mode deep in the Aspen Forest. My commander must have sent me here to investigate the Skibidi threat on other worlds, but I won't be able to do anything without the proper tools. I found some peach trees and broke them down for wood, piling logs and logs of it into my inventory along with some sticks. I gathered some peaches, which I ate to refill my hunger bar. Can't be a good soldier if I don't have healthy rations. I built myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I dug up my first stone blocks and made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And as if on cue, a gaggle of standard Skibidi toilets came rolling out of the tree line. Skibidi, 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 skibidi. I'm so sick of hearing that already. With my new stone sword and my sonic booms, I fought them until the entire squad was defeated. Whew, that wasn't easy, but at least I've cleared the area now. Maybe I should make a base here. With the spare wood I'd collected earlier, I started building myself a basic one-room base. It isn't much, but every war effort needs to start somewhere. On day 3, I headed out into the canyons. There, I could find plenty of stone to harvest. A wooden base is fine for a start, but given some of my enemies have laser eyes, I need something a little stronger. I was halfway through mining stone blocks out of the canyon walls when I saw some strange bony creatures flying above. Soul vultures! One flew straight down towards me and started circling me.
Yeah, fresh meat. Haven't seen one like you before.
Ah, stop biting! I'm from another world, and I'm here to save you all from a terrible threat.
Shush now, Speaker Boy. Food doesn't talk.
The soul vultures descended on me, and there were too many of them to fight off, even with my sonic booms. All I could do was turn and run before they picked me to the bone. I guess not all of the creatures here are unified against our common enemy, but that didn't mean everything here was against me. On my way back through the canyon, I ran into a mandrill sitting alone. She looked upset. Is everything okay, Miss Mandrill?
My name's Mandy, and now everything is terrible. Those diabolical toilets. They destroyed my home and took everything from me.
Those blasted skibidi toilets! Come with me, Mandy. I'll let you stay at my base. I'm Zozo, and together, we'll get revenge on the porcelain monsters who did this to you.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. You're a hero.
She left with me as we made our way back across the treacherous canyons. From day 4 to day 5, I returned back to my base in the Aspen Forest with Mandy the Mandrill. I decided I should start from scratch, so I tore down my starter base and used the materials I'd collected to remake my base. I ended up going for a toilet base. The plan is to pretend to be one of the skibidi toilets. I bet they won't suspect a thing. Inside the toilet, I even built a new room for Mandy, giving her a bed and some furniture in there. Figuring we could use some extra luxuries, I also built a kitchen and a lounge, so we could start to feel a little more at home in this strange new place. She seemed delighted with it.
Wow, Zozo, this is amazing. I'm going to rest here and get my energy back. Thank you for all you've done.
Rest well, Mandy. When you're fully recuperated, we'll talk strategy. Mandy retired to her room while I conducted a perimeter search around the area. I needed to make sure that no one found the new base suspicious. That was a good instinct because a squad of skibidi toilets were right in front of me. I'm putting my war face on. Or I would, if I had a face. I drew my sword and fought them to the last bowl. It wasn't easy, but in the end, my battle experience served me well, and they were destroyed. And even better, once they were gone, they left behind a new tool, an anti-skibidi chemical blaster. This falling into my hands is probably the last thing that they wanted. I'm gonna make them regret it. From day 6 to day 8, I left for a pasture outside the forest, knowing that we'd need some more natural resources for the base. It was just my luck to happen upon some pigs. Our army is gonna need rations. Pork and bacon will do nicely. I herded some pigs back to the base and built a sty for them in just the right spot. I don't have that many pigs, all things considered. That's why I returned to the pasture, ready to shepherd some more. Then, boom! A rocket hit the ground next to me, causing a massive explosion. It left me badly injured. And even worse, when the explosion cleared, I saw the G-Man spider toilet skittering towards me.
Your end is nigh, Speaker Boy. None shall stop the Skibidi army.
Before I even had time to equip my blaster, he unleashed his full arsenal, firing rockets and his laser eyes. There was no way I could fight him, especially injured. All I could do was run away, dodging as best as I could. G-Man was not a force to be messed with. Thankfully, in the end, I still got out of there, injured, humiliated, but alive. From day 9 to day 10, I was back at the base, still recovering from G-Man's devastating surprise attack. He was still a lot stronger than I'd possibly accounted for, but at least I wasn't alone. Mandy the Mandrill approached me while I was in bed with some encouraging words.
You helped me, Zozo, and now I'm gonna help you. The war effort against the Skibidi Toilet Army won't work unless we all pull together. Go look outside. I've made you something that I think will help inspire you.
I went outside and saw that Mandy had been constructing the start of a huge, amazing statue. I couldn't tell what it was yet, but I was so excited to see it when it was finished. Can you guess what it's gonna be? If you can, tell me down in the comments, cause I have no idea. But the statue wasn't the only thing Mandy had been working on. It turned out she was was a pretty talented architect. That's why she was able to build a storage room, perfect for the weapons and armors we'd need for an army. She'd also built a training room where we could train ourselves and the anti-skibidi soldiers, and a furnace for smelting metals. Well, I better get my hands on some then. From day 11 to day 12, I was working in the training room, trying to hone my warrior skills. Mandy the Mandrill came in to join me soon after.
Thank you for taking me in, Zozo. I want to do everything I can to help you in the war effort.
That's good to hear, Mandy. We can't let G-Man and his minions take over the world. It'd be catastrophic.
Who or what exactly is this G-Man and all his skibidi toilet minions anyhow?
They're world-conquering monsters, self-replicating, self-motivating. They'll take over everything and leave nothing behind. They tried to do it in my world, and I think my commanders back to the Alliance must have sent me here to stop it from happening here.
That sounds horrible, Zozo. But how can we possibly stop them? There are so many of them, and they're so powerful.
All we can do is fight, Mandy. Fight with everything we've got. That way, even if we lose, we'll lose honorably.
Sounds like a plan to me, Zozo. We'll never let those evil toilets win.
From day 13 to day 15, I went back to the canyons to settle an old score. How can I be expected to be a good soldier and take on the Skibidi army if I can't even beat some soul vultures? The second I saw one of them circling above me, I couldn't help but feel nervous. Then, it spotted me and swooped down to engage.
Back again, Speaker Boy? Good. I was feeling rather peckish.
You don't know what you're doing, Vulture. This is a war. It's Skibidi toilets versus everything else. You don't think they'll come for you too?
War is our bread and butter, Speaker. Skibidi toilets, speakers, animals, all the same meat to us. We just enjoyed the remains on the battlefield.
Then I guess I better take you down! But the Soul Vulture wasn't alone. The whole flock came swooping in, and I needed to use my sonic booms to take them all down one by one. When they were defeated, I had enough XP to level up, becoming bigger, stronger, and getting a boost to 24 hearts. But most importantly of all, I developed a new offensive capability, Energy Blast! Oh yeah, that's more like it. From day 16 to day 19, I realized that I needed to create weapons for the war effort against the toilets. That's why I ventured into an abandoned mining cavern beneath the first, ready to take on whatever I needed to in order to win the war. And I came up against resistance straight away, a deadly blaze creeper. It started shooting fireballs at me. I tried to take it down from a distance, but it wasn't working. I got closer, and he just exploded. That was dangerous. Hope I don't encounter any more of these. I should check if he dropped any useful loot. I approached the creeper hole, but instead of finding loot, the explosion uncovered a rich vein of iron ore. Exactly what I was here for. I collected up as much iron as I could, then returned to my base. I used the furnace to smelt it, and used some spare sticks to make a couple of iron swords. I kept one sword for myself, and put the other in my training room. With these, I can start to arm an anti-skibidi army of my own. With the spare iron, I made myself an iron pickaxe. This would be perfect if I ever got hands on some diamonds. From day 20 to day 22, I was woken up with a start by Mandy the Mandrill. She was hopping around in a blind panic.
Zozo, you need to wake up.
What's happening, Mandy? You're confusing me.
G-Man, he's right outside. Said something about wanting to stamp out the resistance personally.
Oh no, then I better get out there and stop him. I grabbed my weapons and ran out to face G-Man. He wasted no time in firing one of his rockets, which barely missed me.
You've gotten stronger, Speaker Boy, but not strong enough. You think you can stop the ravages of war? We will consume all. The Skibidi rampage will never end. You're not a wall. You're barely even a speed bump.
All this talk, G-Man. I think it's because you're afraid. But I'm not about talk, I'm about action. Let's fight, you clogged up toilet. The battle began. He blasted me with his laser eyes, but I was much stronger than I used to be. I volleyed sonic booms and energy blasted him, and when those had thrown him off balance, I pulled out my Skibidi blaster and let him have it. Clearly, it was all a little too much for him. He broke away from the battle and used his rockets to destroy the blocks between us.
You got lucky, Speaker Boy. Next time, my minions will deactivate you for good.
He skittered off into the desert. Think I saw a crack in its ceramic armor. Maybe I can win this war after all. From day 23 to day 26, I worked tirelessly in order to build an upgraded weapon that might turn the tide of the war against the insidious Skibidi toilets. I had to enhance my own individual abilities so that the next time I met G-Man, I could deal some real damage to him. Since fighting with music was my specialty as a speakerman, I chose to make a guitar weapon that would amplify the sonic frequencies of my speaker head. What an awesome idea for a weapon! I went into the training room to start trying it out on some blocks and found it was insanely effective. Now I'm loud and proud. Proud to be a devoted soldier fighting back against the forces of Skibidi, that is. And if you want to support the cause and help me in my other crazy adventures, remember to search Zozo in order to find more of my videos. But for now, I'm going to get back to preparing for the battle so that we can win this war. From day 27 to day 31, I was baking some peach pies when Mandy came over to tell me she completed more of the statue and wanted to show me her progress.
This way, Zozo. It's really cool.
Okay, wait for me. I followed Mandy out to the area where the statue was being built and gazed in wonder at what it had already become. This would certainly inspire the troops to fight, but I couldn't help but feel as though something was missing. Hey Mandy, don't you think that part could use a bit of red concrete? You know, to really make it stand out?
You're right. I totally see that. But it's pretty rare around these parts. You'll have to travel to the Grand Gardens for it.
I've never been there before, but if it's for the statue, I'll do it.
Be careful out there, Zozo. The Skibidi enemies are everywhere.
You know me, I'm always careful, especially in enemy territory. Within a couple days' journey, I found myself in the Crag Gardens. Just as I had feared, the Skibidi toilets had already spread to this biome too.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
A bunch of them came at me all at once, so I pulled out my guitar and started swinging away. The sonic waves were more than they could have, and were able to quickly defeat them all. When there were no more Skibidi toilets in the area, I found out what they were guarding. It's a treasure chest with a whole bunch of red concrete and some extra red nether bricks. My quest was not in vain. I gathered the material and began to make my way out of the Crag Gardens. From day 32 to day 35, I was attacked by another pair of Skibidi toilets while on my way out of the Crag Gardens. This is bad. There are more of them here than I thought. I struck them down with my guitar and scanned the area for more of the enemy. Thankfully, there weren't any more Skibidi toilets, but there was a swamp pig.
There was me.
You should get to safety. This whole biome is crawling with those creepy Skibidi monsters.
I want to, but not without my best friend Otto the Ocelot. He was taken by a Skibidi spider, and now he's trapped.
Those Skibidi fiends! I've been fighting against them for as long as I remember.
Maybe you can help me get Otto back.
I'll be all over it, like flies on trash. From day 36 to day 39, I followed the swamp pig's directions to the lair of the Skibidi spider that took his friend. It sounded dangerous, so I went along to spare the swamp pig from the troubles of the battlefield. When I got to the enemy base, I went into stealth mode and searched around for an entrance. I could hear the telltale annoying song of the Skibidi toilets from inside the base, and that told me that I was getting close to where the Skibidi spider was.
Skibbity bop bop, yes yes, skibbity bop, neep neep.
Please stop! Someone get me out of this toilet! I can't deal with any more of this song!
I looked and could see that Otto the Ocelot was inside a dungeon cell in the base, forced to listen to the song of the Skibidi spider over and over. That's terrible. I need to do something, but I need to be smart about it. Maybe if I tune my guitar a bit, I'll be able to take them by surprise with a new sound. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck inside the mini base and hid myself from the ordinary Skibidi toilet soldiers. All I have to do is deal with the Skibidi spider who is guarding the ocelot, then I'll be able to extract him and escape. I quietly, carefully made my way to the center of the lair and over to the cell where Otto the Ocelot was held captive.
Let me go! You've held me captive for many days, and I can't help you with your war!
I wouldn't skibbity say that. Your world seems skibbity short on humanoids, so if we want to make more skibbity toilets, we'll have to make skibbity-doo with the animals. You will be the first ocelot to ever join the skibbities.
No, please, I hate toilets! I try to avoid them!
Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity.
No!
Before Otto could come to harm, I stormed in, isolating the spider. Let that ocelot go, Skibidi spider. I'm the one you want.
I know you. You're that speakerhead that G-Man told me about. I'm going to skibbity skin you.
The Skibidi spider charged forth, but I countered with my guitar. Thanks to the tuning I did the other day, my guitar now had greater knockback. Every time the Skibidi spider got close, I bashed him farther away and dodged his approach. It took a while, but with enough whacks, the Skibidi spider went down. Come on, Otto, we're busting out of here. Swamp Pig is waiting for you.
Thank you, Speakerhead.
Otto and I made our stealthy exit from the mini base and returned to the Swamp Pig. The two were happy as could be and promised to get as far from the Skibidi toilets as possible. From day 44 to day 49, I transported the building blocks that I was able to find in the Crag Gardens back to my base in the Aspen Forest. It's good to be back after spending so much time in enemy territory. Our defenses are looking a little thin though. I'll do something about that later. Once I was inside the base, I met up with Mandy, who was just feeding the pigs, and I turned the building blocks over to her.
This is just what we need to continue work on the statue. Was it difficult to get?
Not for me. I'll do anything for the cause.
I'll get back to work on the statue. And here is some bacon for you.
Neat. I'm gonna work on something too. I went back to the perimeter of the base so I could do something about the lacking defenses I spotted earlier. The solution was simple, yet effective. A perimeter wall around the entire base. The Skibidis will have a hard time getting through that. When the wall was done, I went to see Mandy. She had already completed the next part of the statue. Looks like we were both working hard.
It's like you said before, Zozo. Anything for the cause.
That's right, Mandy. We're gonna win this war no matter what. That moment, I felt really inspired. From day 50 to day 53, the G-Man brought a big army of Skibidi toilets to attack the base. The new defenses were able to slow them down, but we were definitely outnumbered. Even so, there was no way I'd give up. It was time to fight. You're going down the drain, you toilets.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
With the knockback of my guitar, I kept the Skibidi toilets at a distance so that I could take them on individually. When they crowded, they were strong, but on their own, I could handle them. Divide and conquer. That reminded me that I was also fighting alone. Oh no. Mandy, I have to make sure she's okay. The G-Man spider toilet had Mandy in his terrible grasp. I almost couldn't watch.
Speaker Boy, you've survived longer than we expected. But the next toilets we send after you will be like nothing you've ever seen. We'll make your mandrill friend into one of them.
I won't let them change me, Zozo, but come and rescue me soon.
Mandy and the G-Man disappeared into the distance. I vowed to myself that I'd get my friend back. But first, I had to take out the rest of these Skibidi toilets. With my trusty weapon, I cleared out the base and began to feel strong as a new form of power took hold within me. I grew into a big speakerhead, feared by Skibidi toilets everywhere. I had 40 hearts and a brand new ice blast attack that would freeze the Skibidi enemies solid. From day 54 to day 57, I restored the base to its former glory. The attack had been devastating, but even more devastating was the loss of Mandy, my friend, my fellow soldier, Mandy. If the G-Man made her into the first mandrill Skibidi toilet, I might have to… No, I don't even want to think about that. I have to save her! I was full of concern for the animal mobs of the world because any of them might get turned by the G-Man and his many Skibidi toilet minions. I decided to return to the Crag Garden and see if the Swamp Pig was still around that area. Sure enough, he was.
I am. I'm around the area.
You are. Not to be rude, but weren't you going to go somewhere safer?
There aren't that many safe places left. You did a great job fighting the Skibidi toilets when you were here last time, so me and Otto thought we could hold out here.
This war has gotten really bad. There must be a base of operations where their Skibidi toilets are coming from. If we beat them there, maybe we can stop their armies from spreading.
I've heard that a lot of Skibidi toilets have been seen and heard coming from the Crimson Forest.
If that's where the enemy is coming from, I have to proceed with caution. Still, this intel might help me save the world. Thanks, Swamp Pig.
I was thanked.
From day 58 to day 62, I mined for some diamonds because it was high time that I got myself some diamond gear. I need to be fully equipped when I face down the Skibidi toilets on their own territory. It's diamond or nothing, man. I walked further through the cave and came to a dead end. I started digging and broke through into a massive cave. It was teeming with diamonds. And one very big tarantula. Oh, spiders are freaky. I don't want to get near this thing, but my anti-Skibidi ranged weapon won't work on it. So melee it is. I drew my guitar and squashed that spider with a few decisive smacks. I wonder if this is where those spider toilets get their legs. You know, I forget I asked. I gathered a bunch of the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and diamond sword. Success! From day 63 to day 66, I was walking by the incomplete statue in the base and decided to spend some time looking at it. Mandy had been doing her best to complete the statue so that it could be seen by all. and I did my best to help by getting the materials for it. We worked together. That was teamwork, and teamwork is the only way we can defeat those Skibidi toilets. I will rescue Mandy and defeat the G-Man and all of his toilets. For the sake of this world and all the creatures living in it, we will win! And if you want to get in on the teamwork, you should hit that subscribe button so that you can see my videos whenever they come out. The more subscribers the channel gets, the bigger our team gets, and the more Skibidi toilets we can defeat. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe! From day 67 to day 70, I infiltrated the Crimson Forest so I could see what was going on behind enemy lines. Before too long, I could see a huge base that definitely belonged to the Skibidi toilets. I bet that is some kind of weapons research lab. They've probably got Mandy held captive inside there. Hang on, Mandy. I won't let them turn you into a Skibidi toilet. I got out my anti-Skibidi chemical blaster and made my way towards the entrance. There were two classic model Skibidi toilets standing guard over the gate. Both noticed me and began to run over.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
Skibidi dot dot no! I blasted the Skibidi toilets with the chemicals, which flushed them away for good. This alerted some other toilets, but by then, I was already inside the enemy base. Bring it! I'll flush every one of you! From day 71 to day 74, my devotion to the cause brought me deeper into the enemy's base. I had never been in a place with so many Skibidi toilets, but at this point, I wouldn't let anything stop me. Just one soldier, but if I fight well enough, I can keep taking them on and moving ahead. While I was expecting trouble, I was surprised to see the soul vultures had also come to roost in the Skibidi toilet base. Those guys had never been nice or helpful, so the reunion wasn't a happy one. Let me guess, something about meat, like how you're gonna eat me?
Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi.
Huh, Skibidi? Did they get you guys or what?
Nah, just kidding. We soul vultures never change. We're all about scavenging and hunting, baby. It's living.
Well, I don't know if I'm relieved or annoyed. Let's just fight. I took out my diamond sword and cut down the soul vultures. They weren't that difficult to beat now that I'd powered up. In the same room that I was attacked by the soul vultures, I found a chest with a full suit of diamond armor. Super! I can take on the world in this. I could hear the Skibidi song getting deeper and louder, which meant that I was getting close to the G-Man. This'll be the rematch of the century. From day 75 to day 78, I found the evil Skibidi toilet laboratory where the G-Man had been keeping Mandy. They had her caged, just like she promised. The Skibidi toilets were unable to turn her into one of them.
You made it, Zozo. I was waiting this whole time, and I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I would never leave behind a fellow soldier, Mandy. We're in this together. Let me get you out of those restraints. I freed Mandy and broke a hole in the wall so she could escape. Run back to base. I'll be right behind you. Just then, G-Man's spider toilet burst into the room.
Well, we meet again, Speaker Boy. You're not going to get away this time.
You think I'm running? No way, G-Man. This is where I take you down and end your reign of Skibidi terror.
With those old tricks, I doubt it.
G-Man was right about one thing. He had seen my Sonic Blast and Anti-Skibidi Blast before, but I still had something he hadn't seen yet, my Ice Blast. I continued to hit him with the regular stuff to lull him into a false sense of security. Then, with perfect timing, I Ice Blasted him right in his big creepy face. When he was stunned, I closed into melee range and swung my guitar with all my might over and over. I shot several more Ice Blasts because they seemed to be working. Then I knocked G-Man back into a wall. His spider malfunctioned and started smoking. From the looks of it, the attack had beaten him, or so I thought. From day 79 to day 84, the G-Man spider rose from his fallen state and began to chant his Skibidi song while he grew larger.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
G-Man became a truly powerful monster, the strongest Skibidi toilet ever. The peak of their horrible evolution. Uh-oh, I'm not equipped for this.
What's the matter, Speaker Boy? Scared? Even your best weapons can't touch me now. I have gone to a level beyond. Soon, all things will be ruled by the cold porcelain of the Skibidi toilets.
I will never let that happen. Mark my words, I will find a way to counter your new form. just as our side has done for every Skibidi toilet that came before.
But for now, you must run. You must warn all the world that I am coming. Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi.
I made a tactical retreat, as the G-Man predicted I would. This next battle would be a difficult one, but maybe, just maybe, it could win the war. From day 85 to day 89, I had made it back to my base and had begun thinking of a new strategy to take down G-Man's Skibidi Spider Toilet's brand new Super Deluxe Skibidi mode. I was stumped because the previous fight forced me to use every weapon I had at my disposal. As I continued to puzzle, Mandy showed up and decided to help me come up with a new weapon. Any ideas, Mandy?
Yes, you've tried sonic, energy, chemical, and ice. But what about fire?
Mandy gave me a fire aspect enchantment to put on my diamond sword. Now I could burn up Skibidi toilets with fiery sword slashes. But will it be enough?
Don't worry about that right now. I want you to see the statue. It's completed, and it looks great.
The statue was the Titan SPEAKERMAN, an inspiration for all speaker heads everywhere. Looking upon his imposing form reminded me that I could keep fighting and win this war. But how? We're so close. Yet G-Man is so powerful.
He isn't invincible. You nearly beat him last time as you are right now. If you grow to his size, it'll be an even fight.
You're right. Another power-up would be exactly what I need to win the battle.
I'll bet there's some Skibidi tech you could steal from their own base in the Crag Gardens.
From day 90 to day 94, I made my way back to the enemy stronghold in the Crag Gardens in search of a power-up that would make me as strong as G-Man. This time I didn't need to go to stealth mode because I blasted my way through the base with fire and ice, taking down every Skibidi toilet I met along the way. I wasn't even losing hearts fighting these Skibidi toilets anymore. They weren't even a threat. Only G-Man were the same. After a bit of a search, I found what I was looking for, a potion of power that could turn anyone into a super strong version of themselves. I'll examine this back at my base and make sure it's safe to drink. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at the base experimenting with the potion and gearing up to take on G-Man when I got a surprise visit from somebody I never expected. It was Swamp Pig.
Hey, what's cooking? You cooking up the diamond armor?
I'm warming up to take down the G-Man. Let's not question my methods, okay? Anyways, what's up, Swamp Pig?
Okay. I just came by to say that the world is a lot safer now that you defeated most of those Skibidi toilets. If you can take down the G-Man boss, then this war will be over at last. I want to help with that, so I'm giving you this.
Swamp Pig handed over a full set of netherite armor, the best defense I could have for the final battle. Dang, Swamp Pig, where did you find this?
In the swamp, obviously.
That explains everything. Anyway, thanks. I equipped the armor and felt cooler already. On day 98, the war was looming, and I was starting to get a little nervous about the fight. Then, I remembered what I was fighting for. A world safe from Skibidi toilets. Think that all of us would like to see that. What else would you like to see? Tell me who you want me to be next in the comments below. Don't forget to go search for more Zozo videos as well. There are so many to watch, and all of them have their own amazing stories and fun. That's Zozo. Go check it out. On day 99, I launched my attack on the Crimson Forest, finding it mostly deserted. I walked past the reception, the corridors, a terrarium where I found a vent shaft through, which I crawled deep into the base. It's incredible. I can't hear any silly Skibidi songs. Maybe they packed up and left. I kept crawling until the shaft gave way to my weight, and I dropped and landed right in front of G-Man.
You wish, Speaker Boy. Skibidi will never die as long as there is someone to carry on the chorus.
It was G-Man.
It was me.
Hey, that's Swamp Pig's joke. You can't steal it.
Actually, I can. Everything in the world belongs to Skibidi now. I am too powerful to be Skibidi stopped. Doop doop. Yes, yes. Your reckoning is upon you, Speaker Boy.
You know something, G-Man? They say everybody wants to rule the world. I don't know if that's true. I just know that you won't get to. I downed the potion of power, immediately growing to the same size as G-Man with 100 hearts. He fired his laser at me, but I could fire one too now, so I counter-lasered him. I'm a firing my laser! He was not expecting that, so I mixed it up with Ice Blast, Chemical Blast, and Sonic Blast. We circled around each other, closing in as we launched projectiles. I drew my fire-enchanted diamond sword and swatted him with it. The fire seemed to hurt, but I wouldn't let him adapt, so I kept changing my attack. Ice Blast, Fire Slash, Laser Blast. The fight was tense and close, but with all my different weapons and my dedication to rid the world of Skibidi toilets, I managed to flush G-Man for good!
Skibidi, no!
On day 100, I basked in the glow of my victory, no, of our victory, as I returned to base and celebrated with Mandy and Swamp Pig.
Hooray! Zozo is our hero. The Skibidi toilets are gone for good.
This was an achievement that would go down in the history books, because together, with all of our crafts and innovations, we did something that nobody else had done. Defeat the G-Man Skibidi toilet and save the world from Skibidi domination.
On day 1, I was laying in the sand. I stood up to find I was a person stranded on the beach of an ocean world. Whoa, this is a crazy place. I wonder who I am. It looks like maybe I'm a sailor who got stranded around here. But I didn't have time to think about who I was because a freaky-looking drowned came crawling out of the ocean and shambling towards me across the beach. Stay back, I don't want any trouble.
You survived the wreck. The King of the Deep won't be happy. We can't deny him his catch.
King of the Deep? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Then let me help you understand. It'll all make more sense underneath the water. It's so inviting.
The drowned started walking towards me. It seemed like he wanted me to get drowned too. In my panic, I hit him, and it knocked him back way further than I was expecting. Whoa, I must have knockback power on my attacks. Whoever I am, I must be someone strong. But the undead aren't that easy to beat. The drowned continued walking toward me. I really didn't want to risk getting dragged into the deep, so instead, I turned and ran off further down the beach. King of the Deep? That guy sounds like trouble, especially if he's in the business of wrecking boats and drowning people. Didn't have long to mull over the details. As I was making my way across the beach, I was suddenly attacked by a vicious husk who looked intent on doing me harm. This time, rather than try to fight, I decided to just run away. I had too few hearts to risk losing them like this. Eventually, I found a shady patch where I could sit down and rest for the night. Hopefully, nothing would attack me there. King of the Deep. I hope I don't run into that guy. On day 2, I got up and got to work. If I was a sailor, I knew that I needed to be practical and no nonsense. It was time to get out there and make myself some tools. It didn't take me long to find a good clutch of palm trees on the beach, which I used my powerful punches to knock them down and turn the wood into a basic wooden pickaxe. I used my wooden pickaxe to mine enough stone for my first set of stone gear. A stone sword, axe, pickaxe, and shovel. Not a bad start. While exploring the beach, I came upon a stranded toolsmith. Somehow, he looked strangely familiar, so I approached him.
Zozo, so good to see you. I was worried for a while that I was the only one who survived the wreck. Those tides were brutal.
Oh, so this must have been one of my fellow sailors. Truth be told, I don't remember much of what happened.
That's not surprising. I think I remember seeing you take a nasty bump to the head while we were all scrambling around. That's probably why your recollection is a bit fuzzy.
Explains a lot. I'm starving too. Do you have any food?
Sure, take some of these rations.
He gave me some food, which I quickly ate to replenish my hunger bar. Finally, things were looking up for me. Do you know anything about this King of the Deep guy? His goons are already giving me trouble, and I figure he's got something to do with the big crash.
Your guess is as good as mine, pal, but if you do find him, give him one in the face for me.
On day 3, I went off in search of a decent place to build myself a basic base. I've always wanted a beachside property. I just never expected it to happen under such weird circumstances. I cut down some more palm trees and started building myself a nice wooden shack on the beach. It wasn't very defensible yet, but at this stage, I really only needed somewhere cozy to get myself out from under the beach's blistering hot sun. I took a break for a while and looked out over the vast ocean. The ocean that I somehow knew covered most of the planet. And somewhere out there in all that water, the King of the Deep was waiting. I need to get off this planet as soon as possible, before things get dangerous. And as if on cue, a vicious Vex emerged in the distance and came running at me. In sheer panic, I pulled out my stone sword and fought for my life. By the time the fight was done, only I remained. The battle with the Vex gave me enough XP to level up and get bigger and stronger. With 15 hearts and a new enchantment, the Frostwalker, which lets me walk on water by freezing it under my feet. At least I can handle myself. That's a plus in this crazy ocean world. For the rest of the day, I worked on my beachside shack. At least one part of this new situation could be nice and relaxing. From day 4 to day 5, I continued gathering materials to expand my shack. There were thankfully a decent number of trees that I could cut down for wood. I'd just finished collecting a bunch of wood when suddenly I saw a hauntingly familiar sight. It was the drowned I'd seen early on, walking right towards me. Oh no, not you again!
Do you fear the water, Zozo? If you do, then I'm sorry to say you may be on the wrong planet.
You don't have to tell me that!
The king awaits your attendance, Zozo. You shouldn't be afraid. Things are much better down where it's wetter. I'll take you to him.
The drowned advanced towards me, but this time I was going to finish it. I pulled out my stone sword and attacked the drowned relentlessly, each one of my strikes doing bonus knockback damage. Soon enough, the drowned was defeated and destroyed. King of the Deep wants an audience with me? He better come and talk to me himself. And with that, I returned to my base. From day 6 to day 8, I managed to find a rare above water cave. It was exactly the kind of thing I needed to upgrade my gear, in case I ended up encountering any bigger threats. Well, down in the cave, I decided to construct a furnace. It seemed like a wiser choice than having it out there in the open. The deeper I went into the cave, the darker and colder it got. That's when I came across a vein of iron ore in the ground and mined it. I returned to the furnace straight after and started smelting. Soon enough, I had an iron sword and an iron pickaxe on my hands. I also made myself some iron boots and an anvil. Now I can enchant my boots with frostwalking. This is more like it. It feels good to finally be properly equipped. Couldn't have done it at a better time because a zombified piglin immediately rampaged through the cave towards me. Luckily, with my iron sword, it wasn't difficult to deal with the zombified piglin and move on, feeling more confident than ever. From day 9 to day 10, I decided I needed some stone, so I ventured out across the Dead Sea, where there were huge stone structures. This will be the perfect place to mine some consequence-free stone for expanding my base without tearing up the whole beach. With my Frostwalker powers, I walked across the surface of the sea, and I used my iron pickaxe to start cutting stone from the structures. I collected a fair bit of stone when I turned to start heading back, but I suddenly got a terrible feeling. And the reason for that terrible feeling became obvious when I saw a terrifying water elemental rising from the water. Oh no, I think I know who you are.
Yes, I'm glad that you recognize my energy, dear Zozo, as I recognize yours. I am His Highness, the King of the Deep. You almost came to stay with me, you know, but you rejected my gift. How very ungrateful of you.
You're lying. You're a liar. I know that nothing good awaits me down there in the deep. I reject your offer. I ran forward and struck him with the sword. It did nothing. He wasn't harmed in the slightest. I struck again and again. Nothing. I knew that if I was there for a second longer, he might have dragged me down. I got into the boat as fast as I could and rowed until the King of the Deep was gone, and I was back on the safe, dry shore. Yeah, I really don't like that guy. That much is now officially confirmed. I turned and saw something charging across the shore towards me. A huge mutated bee. For a second, I panicked, but before I could attack, it started to speak.
Zozo, thank goodness. You survived the shipwreck.
I'm sorry, who are you?
You don't remember me? I'm First Mate Benson. We're good friends. You really must have hit your head hard during the wreck.
Yeah, I've heard that much. Say, why don't you come back to my base with me? I need to get a better sense of what we're up against here.
You've got a base? Sweet, let's go!
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Benson. Seeing as my base wasn't that big yet, I decided I needed to make it bigger. I started from scratch and built a newer, bigger version of my home. I also built Benson a whole new room, which thankfully wasn't that difficult with all the resources I'd been collecting. Take a load off, Benson. I've got an important errand to run.
Sure thing, Zozo. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, and take this bow and arrows. You might need it.
Benson gave me a bow. Benson, I'm sure this will come in handy. I left back into that same mining cave I'd visited all that time before. I searched until I found another rich vein of iron ore. I mined enough and started heading back toward the cave furnace I'd built above, when I saw something frightening, a skeleton jackal wandering through the cave. I'm really lucky that Benson gave me that bow. Trying to stay as quiet as possible, I pulled out the bow and unleashed a volley onto the skeleton jackal. It was defeated before it even knew I was there. Phew, that was a close one. I then proceeded to the furnace and smelted myself some more protection in the form of an iron chestplate, leggings, and a helmet. It never hurts to have some extra defense when you're going against a strong foe. From day 13 to day 15, Benson and I made a campfire outside the base and decided to spend the night standing out on the beach, watching the ocean and discussing our plans for the future. This isn't going to be easy, Benson. I faced this king of the deep directly, and nothing I did could even hurt him. How did he get us down here in the first place?
Well, it was our ship, you see.
Right, yeah. We were sailing and then it crashed. I know that much.
No, Zozo, it wasn't that kind of ship. It was a spaceship. We were flying through the sector, then suddenly the spaceship got a strange signal from this planet. The captain got obsessed with it, insisted on taking us down here. But when we entered the atmosphere, the captain drove the ship straight down into the water, like he was in a trance. I think the king of the deep, he took over his mind with the signal. He's the reason we're all here.
Great, so he's even more powerful and dangerous than I'd thought. If he could take down our whole ship with his thoughts, then I don't know how we're gonna have any hope of beating him.
I don't think we have a choice, Zozo. We've just gotta try, come what may.
From day 16 to day 19, I woke up with the base feeling eerily quiet. I checked Benson's room, only to find that he wasn't there. But he left a note. It read,
Zozo, I've headed out to the deep frozen ocean. I think there might be some valuable secrets there.
And if there really were valuable secrets out there, I didn't want Benson to have to face them alone. I immediately went out and headed for the deep frozen ocean. Thankfully, because the water had already frozen over, I didn't even need my enchantment here. I just walked around, looking for Benson, when suddenly, an angry-looking zombie spoiner jumped out.
Well, you finally arrived. I suppose you're looking for your buzzy friend.
What did you do to him?
I gave him a nice little nap under the ice. It's very refreshing down there.
You monster! I'll break him out!
There's no escape for you or him. This is what happens to those who defy the king of the deep.
The zombie spoiner attacked me, but I had no time for his ridiculousness today. I ran in with my iron sword and destroyed him as quickly as I could. My true priority was saving Benson. As I walked, I saw something under the ice. It was Benson. I took my iron pickaxe and smashed some of the ice over the water. That's when Benson, thankfully alive, floated up and jumped out of the water.
Zozo, you saved my life. How could I ever repay you?
By staying alive and staying safe from now on. Head back to the base. I'm gonna look around for a while longer.
Will do, Zozo.
Benson left, and I continued my search across the icy surface of the deep frozen ocean. During my search, I encountered a few husks that were easy enough to dispatch, but didn't find any useful information. Just when I was about to give up, though, a strange figure emerged. It was the King Pig.
You seek to defeat the king of the deep.
What? How did you…
I know many things, my son. If you wish to defeat the king, you will need to obtain the Shield of the Deep. It is the only way.
But how can I find…
Some answers you must discover for yourself. Good luck on your quest, Zozo.
Before I could say another word, the King Pig disappeared just as quickly and strangely as he'd arrived. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my base, only to see a couple of husks wandering across the beach, looking for new victims. This beach has a major husk problem. I guess it's up to me to solve it. I used my bow to pick the husks off from a distance without the risk of engaging directly. I didn't want to risk losing any more hearts without a good reason. Once the husks were gone, I returned to my base and found First Mate Benson waiting for me.
Zozo! I have some good news for you. While you were gone, I've been working on a statue. Something that I figured would motivate us to do our best, you know? You always said that motivation is extremely important.
A statue, huh? I'll go take a look at it. Be right back. I went to investigate behind my base and saw that Benson had made some amazing progress on the statue already. It was truly a sight to see. I'm feeling more inspired already. Can you guess what the statue is gonna be yet? If you can, tell me down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want more Minecraft adventures from Zozo. From day 23 to day 26, I was hanging out at my base when suddenly a group of nasty-looking drowned approached me. The rest of the group stood back while one stepped forward to talk to me.
The king of the deep awaits your visit. He grows impatient, Zozo.
Well, he should come up here and tell me that himself. Get away from my base.
Why waste your time up on the land? Water is inevitable. The tide washes away all eventually. Why not just give up? Let the ocean current carry you down to your fate.
Stop saying creepy stuff. I'm getting sick of it. I pulled out my bow and fired at the drowned, taking them out one by one. It took a little while, but luckily with my bow, I was able to attack them without getting too close. The last thing I wanted was for them to grab me and drag me down into the water. When all the drowned were defeated, I noticed that one of them dropped something. I went to get a closer look, and it was spears. Wow, these will be great for fighting if anyone else attacks me. Now I've got to test them out. To try out my new spears, I headed out to the Dead Sea in search of some mobs I could fight. I didn't find any, but I did practice throwing my spears anyway, and I got pretty good at it. While I was practicing, a fisherman came up to me.
Are you Zozo?
I sure am. Wait, you're not with the King of the Deep, are you?
No, matey. I'm trying to hide from him. He wants me brought in as a prisoner. Do you know a safe place where I could stay?
I sure do. I brought the fisherman back to my base with me, and I built him a room so he'd have a comfortable place to sleep.
Thank you. What a lovely room. Quite cozy, but I will not complain. Having a safe space to live means a lot.
No problem. Hope you'll enjoy your stay. From day 27 to day 31, I started trying to figure out where I could find the Shield of the Deep. Hey fisherman, have you ever heard of the Shield of the Deep?
Shield of the Deep? Oh, Zozo, my lad, I've heard tell of that very shield. Legend has it, the shield is found in the darkest, coldest part of the ocean, far from the sun's light or the eyes of man.
So like the deep frozen ocean then?
Aye.
Cool, I guess I'll go check it out. I traveled to the deep frozen ocean and looked for any signs of the shield. Brr, frozen is right. I tried to keep walking, but a piglin brute was blocking my path. Hey, excuse me, just trying to get by.
If the shield you wish to see, then you will have to go through me.
Well, okay, if you insist. I battled the piglin brute and managed to knock him down. I didn't destroy him, but I bought myself enough time to run by and get away. From day 32 to day 35, I kept wandering through the deep frozen ocean. As I explored, I spotted a sea serpent taking a nap. I didn't want to wake him up, but there wasn't anyone else to ask. Sorry to bother you, but do you know where I can find the Shield of the Deep?
No, sorry, I don't know her.
No, it's not a person. A shield. Like, you know, a shield for fighting?
Shield? No, still don't know it.
That's okay. I'll keep looking. I left the sea serpent and carried on exploring the area.
Looking for something, Zozo?
The King of the Deep suddenly appeared. I tried to fight the King of the Deep, but he was still way too strong. If I try to keep this up, there's no way I'll make it. All I could do was turn and run until the king was out of sight. On the way, I ran into the sea serpent again.
Was that the King of the Deep? We both need to get out of here. Follow me.
With that, I ran off as the sea serpent slithered with me.
Can I stay with you for a while, though? Now that guy knows where I live, I'm scared he'll come back.
Sure, come back to my base. From day 36 to day 39, the sea serpent and I headed back to the base. Once we were there, I built a room for him to stay in. After I finished, he came to talk to me.
Wait a second, did you ask me something about the Shield of the Deep? I remember it now. I was pretty sleepy before. My memory wasn't great. But my grandma used to talk about some kind of special shield. I think it may be the one that you're looking for. There's a clue waiting in the frozen ocean. That's what Mima always used to say.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, also, I saw that statue you've got going on. I added a bit to it. Can you take a look and make sure I got it right?
I followed the sea serpent to the statue, and it was really starting to look great. You did an awesome job. From day 40 to day 43, I wanted to find a way to upgrade my weapons and armor. I decided to ask the fisherman for some advice. Any idea where I can find some upgrades?
Zozo, me boy, you came to the right place. I've learned more about upgrades than there are fish in the sea, and thankfully for my job security, that's a lot. You can find some upgrade materials in yonder cave.
Well, I don't know what a yonder is, but I do know of a cave. Thanks. I headed to the cave, but the entrance was blocked by a gorgon. I had to think fast to take it down, but with the use of my spears, I was able to defeat it. Inside the cave, I found diamonds. Tons of them. Perfect, that fisherman was right. I took the diamonds back to my base and used them to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I feel like I'm ready for just about anything. From day 44 to day 49, I took my new diamond weapons and headed to the frozen ocean. Let's see if I can find that clue Mima Sea Serpent was talking about. As I was walking, I was ambushed by a dread knight. He was really strong, but my diamond sword was stronger. With some careful dodging and a few swipes of my sword, I managed to beat him. But before I could get back to looking for clues, I heard a voice.
Help! Someone help!
I followed the sound and saw a black hippogriff surrounded by husks. Oh no, I'll save you! I rushed at the husks and slayed them one by one with my trusty diamond sword.
Thank you, stranger. I thought I for sure was a goner.
I'm Zozo. There, I'm not a stranger anymore.
I'm Hilly the hippogriff. What brings you to these parts?
I'm looking for the Shield of the Deep.
Oh goodness, are you trying to take on the King of the Deep? Legend has it's the only shield that can protect against him.
I am.
I may have an idea of how to find it. There's a wise old ice dragon nearby. He can point us in the right direction.
From day 50 to day 53, I followed Hilly to the domain of the ice dragon. As we traveled there, the piglin brute from before jumped in front of us.
So, it appears we meet again. It's time for you to meet your end.
Geez, not this guy. But this time, with my new upgraded sword, I was strong enough to defeat him for good. Let's find that dragon. We explored for a while and then came to a house with an old ice dragon sitting out in front.
Oh, visitors. Don't get many visitors these days.
Hi, I'm Zozo. I heard you might know where I can find the Shield of the Deep.
Oh, yes, the shield. Well, last I heard, it was being hoarded by a mutant hoglin. Really mean fellow. I'm not sure where he's keeping it, though.
Mutant hoglin? That's more than I knew before. Thanks for your help. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base to figure out what to do next. When I got there, I saw my friends had been adding onto it while I was gone. They added some guard towers, some shelves, and some banners. This place looks great. The guard tower will keep us safe, the barrels add storage, and the banners look so cool. Thanks, everyone.
No trouble at all.
While I was checking everything out, the mutated bee came up to me.
Zozo, can you help me destroy the Dread Scuttler? She's causing so much turmoil and trouble, and I'm scared she won't stop unless a hero stops her for good.
I'm on it. The Dread Scuttler was pretty close by, so it didn't take me long to find her. Luckily for me, she didn't stand much of a chance against my spear. After I was done, I went back to the base. She won't bother anyone anymore.
Thank you. I made this for you while you were gone, as a thanks.
Wow, a diamond helmet. This will go great with my sword. Thank you. From day 58 to day 62, I was woken up by the mutated bead.
Zozo, sorry to wake you, but come look. We've been working on the statue.
I followed the bee to check out the progress everyone had made. This looks great. I can't wait to see it when it's done. While I was checking out the statue, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around, and there was a huge swarm of drowned surrounding my base. Oh no, get out of here.
Not until you join us, until you take your rightful place. No use fighting the tide, Zozo.
No! I fought the drowned one by one, but there were so many of them. Before I could stop them, they knocked the fisherman to the ground. I defeated the rest of the drowned, but it was too late. The fisherman was gone. I won't let them get away with this. From day 63 to day 66, I returned to the frozen ocean. I'm more determined than ever. They hurt my friend. This is personal now. Well, even more personal than it was before. As I was exploring, I stumbled on a book. Hey, Book of Maritime History. I wonder what that means. I opened the book and started to read. It says the Shield of the Deep is hidden on the beach. That must be where the mutant hoglin took it. As I was reading, a drowned snuck up behind me and attacked me. But I was quick, and I got my sword ready and fought back. Pretty soon, he was toast, and I was ready to continue my search. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the beach to look for the Shield of the Deep. Oh hey, I recognize this place. I've got a pretty good feeling about this.
Who goes there?
Uh-oh, I forgot about the mutant hoglin. He was huge, and he looked really strong. But if I wanted to get that shield, I had no choice but to fight him. Any chance you'll let me go by and get that shield?
Nope. Draw your sword and battle me.
So I did. Jeez, he's really tough. I'm not sure I'll be able to beat him. I fell back until I could barely see the beast in the distance. To my surprise, a drowned ran up, but he didn't attack.
Be not afraid. I'm not here for you this time, Zozo. I'm here to destroy this worthless hoglin.
What?
We both have an interest in retrieving the shield.
I stood back out of the way as the drowned fought the mutant hoglin. Eventually, the hoglin picked up the shield and ran away as the drowned chased after him. Well, that was interesting. From day 71 to day 74, I headed to the mutant hoglin's beach base to find that shield. But when I got there, I didn't see anything except for a note on the ground. Hey, what's this say? I picked it up. It says, "Foolish little Zozo, you can't outmaneuver the king of the deep. The shield is mine, and you will never get your filthy surface-dwelling hands on it. That's so rude, not to mention evil." I left the base. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to my base to come up with the new plan. If I can't get the shield, what am I gonna do? When I got back to the base, I saw my friends waiting for me. Boy, am I glad to see you. The sea serpent approached me.
We made some improvements. Check it out. We added an armory.
And then Private Benson came over.
And I made us a lowrider pool.
That's a nice ride. Really awesome. Thank you guys. But it wasn't just friendly faces, sadly.
Come out and face me, Vandal!
The mutant Hoglin had followed me home. This time, I have to defeat him. I drew my sword and attacked. It was a pretty close call, but after a hard fight, I was finally able to beat him. I felt myself getting stronger. My hearts increased to 40, and I gained an ability, an ice blast that fired freezing blasts at my enemies. This is awesome! Hey, look at this! There was a note that the mutant Hoglin dropped. It says Dead Sea. I'll go check it out. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled to the Dead Sea to look for anything important that I didn't notice the first time. Let's see what I can find. As I was looking around, I spotted an ice dragon. Hi, are you the same ice dragon I met before?
Don't think so. I've never seen you. But is there any chance you're here looking for a way to defeat the King of the Deep?
I am.
Me too. Let's work together. I've heard he's got a base somewhere on the beach, but I need help finding a map to it. Come with me.
Okay. I joined the new ice dragon in exploring, but I wasn't sure what we were looking for. I walked ahead of him when I suddenly heard a noise behind me. I turned and saw the ice dragon getting ready to attack me. Hey, what gives?
I tricked you. I'm working with the King of the Deep, you fool.
Oh no! What he didn't count on was my new strength and my ice blast. Before long, I was able to defeat him. Can't believe that guy tried to trick me, but at least I have some more information. From day 85 to day 89, I decided to go back and visit the Black Hippogriff and see if he had any more helpful information for me. When I reached the frozen ocean, I headed to his house. Hi again.
Zozo, welcome back. How's the quest to defeat the King of the Deep going?
Well, I've been trying to get the Shield of the Deep, but he got to it first. Now I don't know what to do.
Oh no! Well, I might have an idea for you on how you can get it back. The King of the Deep is a water elemental, so he's vulnerable to ice attacks. If you have any way to freeze him, that could slow him down long enough for you to steal the shield back.
Wait, I have Ice Blast. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Happy to help. Good luck, Zozo.
From day 90 to day 94, I decided to gather some materials to upgrade my gear before I finally went to confront the King of the Deep. So I headed back to the cave to see what else I could find. Oh hey, a chest! I wonder what's in here! I opened the chest, and it contained a netherite ingot! Whoa, this stuff is pretty rare! I gathered up the netherite ingot and approached the smithing table next to the chest. I added the ingot to my diamond sword to create a netherite sword! This is amazing! If I can get my hands on the shield, I'm sure I can use this to win! From day 95 to day 97, I took my new sword back to my base. When I got there, my friends were waiting for me. Check out my new sword!
That's great! We have something to show you, too. The statue is almost done, but we wanted you to put in the last 2 pieces.
I followed them to the almost finished statue. Private Benson gave me the last 2 gold blocks to put into place. When I was done, I took a step back and got a good look at it. Wow, it's King Neptune! This is amazing! Looking up at this statue of the real King of the Ocean, not that bully of a water elemental, it reminds me what I'm fighting for. Thank you so much for building it. On day 98, I was preparing to head out and finally face the King of the Deep for our final battle. As I was getting ready, the mutated bee came to talk to me.
Zozo, I've been thinking. I want to come help you with this fight. You shouldn't have to face the king alone.
Are you sure? It's gonna be dangerous.
What's life without a little danger? It'll be worth it.
Thank you. On the way out of the base, I ran into the sea serpent again.
I'll be here waiting for you guys when you get back. I know you'll win. You're a hero, Zozo. You're always having amazing adventures on this channel, and if you want to see more of Zozo's adventures in Minecraft, make sure to subscribe.
Thank you, that really means a lot. On day 99, the mutated bee and I traveled to the King of the Deep's base on the beach. There were a lot of husks guarding the entrance, but the mutated bee kept them busy while I ran inside. There were more husks inside the base, but I was ready for them. I blasted them with my ice blast and fought them with my netherite sword. Gotta keep going and find that shield. It must be in here somewhere. On day 100, I continued fighting my way into the King of the Deep's base. I fought the husks on the walls, and after defeating them, my hearts increased to 80, and I gained the Energy Blast ability. Great, now all I need is that shield.
You mean this shield?
I turned around and saw the shield, but it was being guarded by a big, powerful drowned. Hand that shield over.
Never! It belongs to the king now, as all things soon will. The oceans will rise and claim the land, and all who walk upon its shores.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I fired an energy blast at the drowned, then followed it with a blast from my ice blast, and finished him off with my sword. Finally, the shield of the deep! I'm ready! I grabbed the shield and made my way down to the king's throne room. I opened the door, and he was there waiting for me. Before I could attack, he started to transform. He grew bigger and stronger, evolving into a much more powerful version of himself. You don't scare me!
No? Well, I should. Your defeat shall be swift.
I fired my ice blast at the King of the Deep, freezing him long enough for me to attack with my sword. He knocked me back with a hard hit, but the shield protected me from the damage, as well as giving him a harming effect from the spikes. We continued fighting for a while. I used all the abilities I had. The energy blast, my shield, the ice blast. After a lot of fighting, I felt a surge of power, and my hearts increased to 100, and I felt myself getting stronger. I knew I could beat him. I shot my ice blast, trapping him, and with one more swipe of my sword, defeated him! Time to wave goodbye to the King of the Deep. Get it? Wave? Like the ocean? On day 1, I spawned in as a lethal poison lizard in the middle of the deep dark Zelkova forest. Oh, I look like I'm one rad reptile, even though I'm just a little baby lizard. I wonder if I have any powers. I walked over to a tree and swiped at it. I didn't even have a tool or weapon, but it turned out I had a set of awesome poison claws that I could use for claw-based attacks. I certainly wouldn't want to mess with me. But just because I wouldn't mess with me doesn't mean other people wouldn't. This point was proven when a huge, dog-headed guy charged through the forest towards me.
You dares invade the overworld of the mighty Lord Anubis? You are a trespasser, and all trespassers will be annihilated.
Maybe we can work this out. What if I did some work for you? I'm really good at completing quests.
What kind of value would I ever find in a nasty little poison lizard? To have you in my royal sight disgusts me. I will crush you, destroy you, leave not even a memory of your presence. Prepare to meet your doom, lizard!
Before I could even try to reason with him, Anubis blasted a fireball near to me. I didn't feel like taking my chances. I just turned and ran off as fast as I could. Oh no, I'm gonna need to get strong enough to defeat that guy, or I'm toast. I guess being a poison lizard doesn't win you many friends right off the bat. I hid in the forest, but that didn't mean I was out of the woods yet, literally. On day 2, I continued my journey through the forest. It wasn't long until I felt my reptilian stomach rumble and decided that I needed to source some food. I don't see anything meaty around here, so I guess I'll settle for some fruit. Is there an apple tree anywhere near me? I searched for a little while until I found one, before striking it down with my poison claws and grabbing some yummy apples to eat. At least I know now that I won't keel over from hunger. It'll probably be that evil jackal god with the fireballs that does me in. Speaking of the devil, I saw a desiccated desert mummy walking out of the trees near to me. He didn't look friendly, I could tell you that much.
You must be the nasty little lizard that the great Lord Anubis told me about.
Of course you work for him, but why? He doesn't seem like he'd be a chill boss.
Fool! Anubis was the lord of the underworld, and with our help, he has conquered the overworld too. All who defy him must be eliminated.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I struck him with my poison claw attacks, but seeing that the desert mummy was already undead, my poison didn't affect him much. He was too strong. Uh-oh, all I could do was turn around and run, and I kept running until the desert mummy was fully out of sight. It was so frustrating to not be strong enough to defeat anyone. But when I stopped to rest, a ghost miner suddenly materialized right in front of me. Oh no, are you gonna attack me too?
No, Zozo. I am your spirit guide. It is up to me to help you fulfill your destiny.
My destiny?
It is unsafe to discuss here. Come with me.
He talked a good game, so I walked after the mysterious ghost miner. On day 3, the ghostly miner kept leading me through the Zelkova forest until we came upon a strange little cottage in the middle of the woods. This place seems a little suspicious.
This is the dwelling of the mystery sheep, Zozo. He is one of the allies that will help you along your journey to fulfilling your true destiny. Trust in me, and all will be okay in the end.
The ghost miner disappeared. He was certainly a strange guy, but who was I to disagree with the advice of my spirit guardian? Time to speak to the mystery sheep, I guess. I patiently waited at the door until it opened, and the mystery sheep trotted out.
What brings you here, stranger?
I was told to visit you by my spirit guide. He told me that you could help me fulfill my destiny.
Oh, yes? And what is your destiny?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure, but it's gotta have something to do with defeating this Lord Anubis guy who attacked me as soon as I arrived.
Ah, Lord Anubis, an arrogant little god, and vain too. I can see why he would despise a little poison lizard like you. But there's good news in that, my friend. If he underestimates you, then you can take him by surprise. If you do that, then you may have a chance to defeat him.
With that advice, I left the cottage to go make my own way in the world. The mystery sheep is right. Underestimating me might be the worst mistake that Anubis ever made. From day 4 to day 5, I kept searching until I found a little clearing in the Zelkova forest, big enough to build a little base for myself. I'm never gonna get strong enough to defeat Anubis if I don't learn to be independent. But I can't accomplish my goals if I don't have the right tools. That's why I slashed down a tree and used its resources to build myself a wooden pickaxe. Then, I didn't waste any time digging into the ground to collect some stone and craft myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. The stone sword will be useful if I run into another one of those freaky desert mummies. With my tool building work done for the day, I finally put some effort into building a little base. I made it out of wood and stone to keep it sturdy and made myself a little bedroom where I could relax when I wasn't out adventuring. My day's progress made my spirit guide, the ghost miner, materialize right in front of me.
Zozo, you have done well. Every step you take brings you closer to your destiny.
Thank you, Ghost Miner. Your advice has been super helpful.
Good. I have a gift for you. Take some of my ghostly energy and feel your power grow.
The Ghost Miner hit me with a blast of powerful spirit energy right in my face, and I could immediately feel myself getting bigger and stronger. I now had 20 hearts, more powerful attacks, and the ability to fire poison blasts.
You will be the one to save us all, Zozo.
From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out of the Zelkova forest for the first time. I decided to wander around the Badlands, which had a warmer climate that's perfect for a cold-blooded poison lizard like me. Feels good to feel the warmth on my scales. But my trip to the Badlands wasn't just an exercise in pure escapism and relaxation. As I walked, I was suddenly ambushed by the same desert mummy who had attacked me earlier.
Time for some pest control. I'm going to destroy you once and for all, you nasty little poison lizard, for the glory of the great Lord Anubis.
I'm not gonna be that easy, Mr. Mummy. I'm a lot stronger than I used to be.
You think that matters to Lord Anubis? I'm just one of his mummy's servants. Death is just the beginning, Zozo.
No, it's the end. I fired one of my poison blasts at the mummy to slow him down, then ran in with my stone sword to dash him and slash him until he poofed into nothing. That's what you get for bullying me, you beastly bundle of bandages.
I'm impressed, Zozo. Well done.
I turned and saw a mysterious forest guardian standing right behind me.
You have proven yourself to be a potential friend of the forest, my son. And if you help me rid this sacred place of evil, then I can give you wondrous prizes and powers. Do you agree to help me, Zozo?
That sounds like a great deal to me. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the guardian of the forest deeper into the Badlands. It didn't take him long to lead me to a location where a huge, terrifying spider queen was waiting. That's what he wants me to slay? Yikes, I guess I'll try my best. I ran in and tried to mount a sneak attack on the Spider Queen, but my attacks weren't strong enough to leave any lasting damage, and I couldn't say the same for her attacks against me. I ran away as fast as I could until I rendezvoused with the Guardian of the Forest and told him what happened.
I'm sorry for sending you into danger like that, Zozo. All things considered, you're lucky to be alive.
Perhaps being a poison lizard allowed you to have a greater immunity to her Spider Queen venom.
I think when I'm stronger, I'll be able to take her down. In the meantime, why don't you come and stay at my base? I really need to gain some allies right now for a battle I'm fighting against Lord Anubis right now.
Of course, you have assisted in my battle, so I will assist in yours. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Guardian of the Forest. I immediately set to work, making him a room on the grounds of the base where he could stay while I was training. It wasn't all that impressive, but it was probably a decent place to get some rest at night. After I was done building, the Guardian came over to me with some good news.
I've built some upgrades for your base, Zozo, as an apology for putting you in a dangerous situation before. Go take a look.
The Guardian of the Forest had clearly used his supernatural powers to work fast. He'd built 3 upgrades: a chicken farm with a few chickens already herded inside, a storage room for spare equipment, and a furnace for smelting raw materials. This is incredible, thank you! And in fact, this gives me an idea. I went into a deep cave next to my base, and I explored inside until I found some iron ore, and used my stone pickaxe to mine it. Then, I went back to my base, used the furnace to smelt the ore into ingots, and turn those ingots into an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. I'm really moving up in the world! From day 13 to day 15, the ghost miner, my spirit guide, materialized into the base.
Zozo, you must return to the Badlands!
But why spirit guide?
Another one of Anubis's minions, the Desert Mummy, is waiting there. If you defeat him, you will ascend to the next level of strength.
As you wish, spirit guide. I ventured out to the Badlands again, and it didn't take me long to find the exact Desert Mummy that the ghost miner had told me about. I pulled out my new iron sword, ran in, and attacked until the Desert Mummy was no more. And this gave me enough XP to upgrade again and level up, getting me up to 30 hearts and giving me a bigger, stronger body and more powerful attacks. Whoa, the ghost miner is always worth listening to. From day 16 to day 19, I decided to go and explore the strange, eerie Weeping Witch Forest. It's like something out of a fairy tale, a really weird, spooky fairy tale. And it was an interesting place to explore anyway. It was cold and dark, and it felt like something eerie could pop out from around any corner. So it didn't surprise me when another Desert Mummy emerged right in front of me, ready to battle.
You have slain my undead brethren, but you won't slay me, Zozo. I will annihilate you in the name of my master, Lord Anubis.
I still don't understand why you're so desperate to destroy me. Doesn't your Lord Anubis have bigger fish to fry? He is a literal god after all.
Your presence offends him. We need no more reason than that to send you to the underworld, cold and lifeless.
Not if I send you first. I battled the Desert Mummy. Just like the mystery sheep said, the mummy had underestimated me, just like his boss. And in the end, I defeated him. Wait, did he drop some kind of note? I looked around and found a note that had been dropped by the destroyed mummy. It came straight from Anubis, and it said, "You bandaged buffoons have failed me for too long. You must destroy this Zozo before he gets stronger. If he reaches full power, his poison will be able to harm me. We cannot allow that. Destroy him now." So that's why he wants to destroy me so bad. I understand it now. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my favorite mining cave to collect some more iron ore for crafting purposes. All this iron will perfectly match my iron will. I took the ore back to my base and used my furnace to smelt it into some ingots. Soon after, I had myself a tough new iron chest plate. Now I can really take a mean punch. It's time to settle an old score and go squash that evil Spider Queen. Afterwards, I returned to the Badlands, where I'd first met the Guardian of the Forest and promised to him that I'd defeat the Spider Queen that'd been plaguing the area. A poison lizard always pays his debts. I arrived at the Spider Queen's location, and this time, I was truly ready. With my weapons and powers, I attacked and destroyed the Spider Queen once and for all, freeing the Badlands from her terror for good. But my terror was just beginning. After defeating the Spider Queen, I heard something coming quickly towards me. I turned around, and it was Anubis himself.
Zozo, you monster! You destroyed my pet spider! You are truly my arch enemy!
What? I didn't know she was your pet spider. I just knew she was terrorizing creatures of the Badlands.
Yes, because I told her to. I have even more reasons to destroy you now.
I know the actual truth, Anubis. I know that if I get to my full power, my poison will be able to destroy you.
Oh yes, but you'll never get strong enough to be a threat to me. I'll destroy you first.
Anubis blasted me with fireballs, and I ran away as fast as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to get back to my base in the forest with barely a scratch. Anubis had given up chasing me, but only for the time being. Even if he wasn't on my tail now, he was still out there and knew that I could put a stop to his evil plans if I just got stronger. And luckily for me, that was already happening. I met with the guardian of the forest again.
You've done well to slay the Spider Queen, Zozo.
Thanks. I didn't realize she was the pet of Anubis. But hey, without his creepy crawly, he's more vulnerable, right?
We can only hope, Zozo.
I was on a roll, and I couldn't stop now. I headed back to the mines to search for more materials and came across some more iron ore buried underground. I already have an iron sword, pickaxe, and chestplate. What else could come in handy? Oh, a helmet! That would be perfect, having some added armor to protect me. So I turned the iron ore into ingots and crafted myself a brand new helmet. That's when the ghost miner materialized again.
Zozo, come and see.
What is it? I followed my spirit guide. He'd been working on improving my base while I'd been off on my adventures. We'd now had a whole security bunker safe near the main base, a place where we could be secure just in case Anubis' forces ever tried to overrun our base. The bunker was nice and fortified, so they would have had no chance of ever getting in, and we could be nice and protected inside. From day 27 to day 31, I made the decision to venture back towards the Weeping Witch Forest. Even though I'd gotten rid of that nasty desert mummy the last time I was there, the whole place still gave me the creeps. Suddenly, I heard a faint voice, so I looked around to figure out where their voice was coming from. As I turned around, I was startled to see a gigantic axolotl right behind me. Whoa, don't sneak up on me like that.
Oh no, sorry about that, man. People usually spot me coming on the count of me being a big, bright pink axolotl. Didn't mean to startle you.
That's okay. Just tell me you're not working for that big jackal jerk Anubis.
Oh, no, man. In fact, I just wanted to come and say thanks for taking care of that desert mummy of his. Us amphibians and reptiles have got to stick together, right? That mummy destroyed my home, so I'm glad to be rid of him.
Why don't you come back to my base with me?
Aw, thanks, man.
Well, me and Big Axolotl were heading home. He had tons of suggestions about how I could make my base more homey with some new couches and bookshelves. Once we got home, I started to add his suggestions to the base, adding some couches and some bookshelves to liven up the place.
I actually have a real passion for interior design.
After I left Big Axolotl to relax, the ghost miner reappeared.
Zozo, I have another task for you, my son.
What is it? More trouble?
Indeed, I sense there are more of Anubis' forces nearby. We must act swiftly.
From day 32 to day 35, my spirit guide and I both left the safety of my base and headed back to where I had met the mystery sheep. According to the ghostly miner, the poor sheep was under siege from more of Anubis' dastardly desert mummies. The mystery sheep had given me some helpful advice before and offered me guidance when I wasn't sure what my destiny was, so the least I could do to repay him was help him out in his time of need.
Help! Someone please help!
We arrived at the mystery sheep's dwelling, only to see it was swarming with desert mummies. I had only ever beaten a couple of them before, and only in one-on-one fights. But I had been getting stronger, and my confidence was already increasing, so I leapt into battle! I swiped my iron sword at the mummies, launching a few poison attacks, while making sure the ones up close got a taste of the full fury of my improved combat skills. I took out one and another, but while I was busy fighting my way through them, some of the desert mummies went after the mystery sheep.
Zozo, things look bad. It may be too late for me. Remember your destiny. I know you won't let us down.
I wasn't able to save the mystery sheep. Even by the time I had defeated the other desert mummies, there was no one feeling more defeated than me. From day 36 to day 39, I left to clear my head. The ghost miner offered to come with me so he could comfort me in the wake of losing the mystery sheep, but I told him I'd rather be on my own for a while. I decided I'd head back to the Badlands, feel some more warm sunlight on my scaly lizard skin, in the hopes that that might cheer me up. I was contemplating what had gone wrong. I was stronger, but not strong enough to save my friend. Suddenly, while I was thinking to myself, a phantom fox appeared. Greetings, Zozo. I am Phantom Fox, a spirit of swiftness. I know you are grieving the loss of the mystery sheep, but I have a task you must complete. Okay, I know the mystery sheep wanted me to make everyone proud, so I guess me carrying on getting stronger is what he would have wanted. The Phantom Fox led me toward another of Anubis' minions, an Endergast from the Jackal God's underworld. I ran towards it, prepared to fight, and readied my poison attacks. But I quickly found out that my poison had no effect on the Endergast. so my sword had to do, and with a few strong swings, I was able to defeat the ghastly minion. Well done, Zozo. I know that the mystery sheep would be proud. He and all the other spirits are counting on you to defeat the one who turned on us. You mean Anubis was once one of you? Indeed, but he betrayed us and took control of the underworld, becoming its god. Now, he'll stop at nothing to expand his power up here and control everything that is, that was, and that will be. From day 40 to day 43, I made my way back to my base in the Zelkova forest. I was still feeling sad about the loss of the mystery sheep, but a little better after chatting with the Phantom Fox. But any of my sadness quickly disappeared when I saw what awaited me. My friend, the guardian of the forest, had been working on improving my base to cheer me up. The place had been adorned with plenty of pretty banners draped over the walls to decorate the place. Wow, this place looks great! What made you want to go to all this trouble?
Well, Zozo, I knew you needed your spirits lifted after losing an ally, and by improving the look of our base, I hoped it might bring new allies to us so that we can honor the mystery sheep and stand up to Anubis once and for all.
Decorating the base clearly worked, because a little while later, a spider llama arrived looking for a place to stay, so I gladly let them join us. When the day was almost done, I was finally approached by the big axolotl.
Hey man, listen, I've got a favor to ask. I left some of my special netherite ingots back in the Weeping Witch Forest after my old home was destroyed. Think you could help me get them back?
From day 44 to day 49, I headed back to the Weeping Witch Forest to recover the netherite ingots that Big Axolotl had sent me to look for. He still seemed a little uneasy about heading back to where he'd used to live, just in case there were more of Anubis's desert mummies creeping around the place. So I agreed to take on the task. After all, Big Axolotl was a cool guy, and he'd made some really nice improvements to my base, so I thought I'd return the favor to my friend. But I hadn't made it far before Anubis came bursting out behind the trees to ambush me. I knew there was something creepy about this place.
There you are, pesky little poison lizard. You've been trying to get yourself stronger, and I can't have that.
Scared of my poison then?
On the contrary, I have more important things to do than waste my time on a little pest like you. For once I control both the overworld and the underworld, I'll be able to have full control over who lives and dies.
You can't do that. That'd make you a monster.
Oh, you want a monster? I'll show you a monster.
Anubis vanished, but left a powerful warped phantom in his place. I was about to have one heck of a tough fight on my hands against this monster. From day 50 to day 53, I defended myself against the Warped Phantom's attacks. Since it was a creature straight from Anubis's underworld, it could blast bolts of powerful undead spirit energy at me. I tried my best to fend it off, retreating deeper into the Weeping Witch Forest to try and regain my health and come up with a better plan of attack. But the Warped Phantom wasn't giving up the pursuit.
You can run all you like, little lizard. My master, Lord Anubis, has told me not to return until you are destroyed.
I used the cover of the trees to stay out of the Phantom's line of sight, sneaking around so that I could outflank it and take it by surprise. My plan worked, and I caught the Warped Phantom off guard and was barely just able to defeat it. But when I did, I noticed it had dropped something. It was a map with directions that led right to Anubis's pyramid. It wasn't a desert biome though, it was all the way over in the snowy taiga. Of course, Anubis might be the god of the underworld, but all his minions and mummies up here in the overworld are undead, so he must have needed to keep them cold. Now I knew where I could find that jackal-headed jerk when the time came to take him on. From day 54 to day 57, I did my best to find my bearings and get back on task to find the netherite ingots my friend Big Axolotl had stashed. But when I got to Big Axolotl's stash, there was a new problem blocking my path: a swarm of fire guardians. These things looked like they would be a tough fight, so I decided to use the same tactic that had helped me beat the Warped Phantom. I snuck up on them, and before they spotted me coming, I leapt into battle. I used my poisonous attacks, and they worked. The poison slowed the fire guardians down and allowed me to have the upper hand. One by one, I extinguished their flames, and after I defeated them, I looted the netherite ingots from the stash and headed back to the base to return them to my friend, and he was thrilled.
Oh, thanks so much, man. You hang on to them. I didn't really need them, but I thought they'd come in handy for you.
So that's why you sent me to get them.
Yeah, I told you before. We amphibians and reptiles have to look out for each other.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back at the safety of the base, I decided it would be best to stick around and work on improving things. After all, if the banners the Forest Guardian had put up were going to bring in more allies, then we'd need to be able to feed everyone. I used some wood to craft fences and expanded the chicken farm at the base, so that we had plenty of room for the chickens to lay loads of eggs for everyone. Who doesn't love eggs for breakfast? It was after I'd worked on expanding the chicken farm that I noticed the state of my iron armor. It had seen a lot of action, and all the bumps and batterings of battle had whittled away at its condition. This wasn't going to keep me protected for much longer, so I headed off back to the mine to search for something stronger. And sure enough, digging deeper, I found some diamonds! Bringing them back to the base, I turned them into a fresh new set of diamond armor and a sword and pickaxe to match. Now I had way more defense against Anubis's undead cronies, my sword could do much more damage against them too, and my new pickaxe would make gathering resources all the easier.
Zozo, behold our latest addition!
My spirit guide, the ghostly miner, showed me around the base's brand new party room. We could gather all our allies here, either to have a good time as friends, or coordinate who would be heading out on adventures, who would be gathering resources, and upgrading the base. Wow, this place is looking great! You must have been listening to Big Axolotl's interior decorating tips. From day 63 to day 66, the Guardian of the Forest had some suggestions for where I should head next.
You still have a ways to go, but time is on our side. While Anubis is regaining his forces and planning his next move, yours should be getting stronger. Head to the desert, Zozo. It can be a harsh place, but the heat there should invigorate a cold-blooded lizard such as yourself. And perhaps you will encounter some new challenges to improve your skills and grow your strength.
And so, I headed off in the direction of the desert. There didn't seem to be much there, mostly just lots of sand. It was coarse and rough, and it got everywhere, but at least here, there was plenty of sunlight to warm me up. All of a sudden, I was startled by an abrupt growling coming from nearby. I drew my diamond sword, trusting it could fight off whatever was coming. I was greeted with the sight of a wolfman, and expected him to be one of Anubis's allies.
Relax, friend. I mean you no harm.
Oh, that was surprising. It turned out the wolfman was friendly.
Actually, I've been looking for someone to help me with something, and you seem like just the lizard for the job. What do you say? You up for it?
Sure thing. I came here to get stronger, so let's get to it. From day 67 to day 70, the wolfman led me to an open plain in the middle of the desert.
You see, there's these pesky soul blazes. They attacked me and took all my armor and weapons. I have claw attacks like you, but there are too many of them for me to fight alone, especially without protection from armor. So what I need you to do is draw their attention while I grab my stuff. Then I can help you take the rest of them out.
So, when we spotted the soul blazes, I rushed straight at them. They all turned and charged towards me as I swung my diamond sword and started dishing out much more damage than ever before. Meanwhile, as I battled the soul blazes, my new wolfman friend used his wolf speed to get closer to his gear that laid on the ground. He hurriedly got it all on while I chopped at the soul blazes, and with our combined might, we reduced them to dust.
Awesome! What a great fight! You can really hold your own.
I'm glad I could help. From day 71 to day 74, I was in the snowy taiga biome, feeling much tougher than I had when I started. All the hype that the wolfman had given me made me think I was about ready to take on Anubis himself. I used the map to make my way toward Anubis's pyramid. It was way more accurate than some of the old wooden signs I passed. One of them said, "If you like this video, then you can find more by clicking on our channel or searching ZOZO." Once I'd made it closer, I started to feel strange. Like I was maybe a little tired. But that all went to the back of my mind the moment I saw Anubis's pyramid, towering over the rest of the frosty landscape. And I didn't have to get much closer for the underworld god to rear his ugly jackal head.
So you've come to give yourself up already, filthy poison lizard?
Nope. I'm a lot stronger now, Anubis. I came to give you a nice big dose of poison and stop all your crazy schemes.
You will try, I'm sure.
We clashed head on, and I took some swings with my diamond sword. But it felt heavier all of a sudden, and so did my armor. Like I was somehow weaker. Of course, it was the cold weather. This place wasn't just perfect for keeping Anubis's undead minions on ice, but the environment of the snowy taiga also made it harder for me to fight him. He dealt me some pretty bad damage, so I had no choice but to retreat for now. From day 75 to day 78, I made the long trek back to my base in the Zelkova forest. The whole time I felt glum. I had been so eager to take on Anubis, but in doing so, I had overlooked one of his major advantages over me. It didn't seem to matter how much stronger I got now, I would still be a poison lizard. And that was why Anubis had set up his pyramid in the snowy taiga. The longer I was in that place, the more dangerous it became for me, thanks to my cold reptilian blood. I didn't even feel like talking to anyone once I was back in the base. Instead, I just went to my room to be on my own for a while. Until, of course, the ghost miner materialized.
Zozo, don't be disheartened. There will be another opportunity to stop Anubis. For now, come and see. We've all been working hard to make some new improvements to protect this place.
I didn't really feel like it, but I let the ghost miner show me around. The base now had a tall watchtower reaching high up above the forest's tree line, so we could keep a lookout for any approaching danger. Even though I was feeling down, I had to admit it was pretty neat. Then, the big axolotl came to speak to me alone.
Hey man, don't worry. Nobody stays down in the dumps for too long. I got you this. Thought it might help. Consider it a thank you for all you've done for me.
Big Axolotl had given me a magic apple. It really did lift my spirits some more. I was lucky to have him as a friend, and even luckier when I ate the magic apple. I felt the magic from the apple transform me into a larger poison lizard, giving me 60 hearts and even a new power, a jump boost, so I could leap even higher on my reptilian legs. From day 79 to day 84, I was ready to pick myself up and try to take on Anubis again. My extra hearts would have made it easier to survive the snowy taiga, and now I had my jump boost. I could get up in the air right into his smug jackal face, and his attacks would miss me. When I made it back, there was no sign of him though, but a pack of thorn wolves tried to take some bites at me, so I showed off some of my newfound strength. They were no match for me.
My, very impressive.
I turned around to see a huge creeper spider. I kept my guard up, but then realized that if they were going to harm me, they could have used the element of surprise when I was fighting the wolves. Instead, the creeper spider offered to show me around the snowy taiga, teaching me a few tricks for staying warm while I was traversing this frosty part of the overworld. But best of all, they showed me how I could use some of Big Axolotl's netherite ingots. By combining them with my diamond sword, I had now made an even more powerful weapon, a netherite sword. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back to my base to tell my friends the good news, but I was shocked by what awaited me. There was a horde of desert mummies attacking the base. With no time to waste, I rushed into battle to defend my home and my friends from the bandaged baddies. Luckily, my blade of netherite cleaved through most of them with one swing. Seeing I'd taken their numbers down, the remaining desert mummies ran off into the forest. I couldn't let them get away. If they made it back to the snowy taiga, they could tell Anubis exactly where to find my base, and he'd send even more powerful mobs to harm my friends. I rushed after them into the forest. They were a ways ahead of me, and before long, my base had disappeared from view behind all the trees, and so had the desert mummies. Darn it, I had to figure out a way to stop them. While searching the forest, I came across a villager. Hey, have you seen any of Anubis's mummies go this way?
Oh, I have. Please get rid of those horrid undead things.
They pointed me in a direction, but the mummies who'd been causing the villager trouble were a different group. Still, they were Anubis's minions, so I thought it'd be better to take them out nice and quick. My netherite sword made light work of them, and then I kept up the trail of the others, hoping I could reach them in time. From day 90 to day 94, I had been following the desert mummies for quite some time, all the way to the snowy taiga. Oh no, it was too late. They'd be able to report back to Anubis about where my base was. I made sure not to get too close as they approached the Jackal God's pyramid, where they were greeted by a huge beast, a vile ogre.
Good job tracking that poisonous lizard. I will head to that base and destroy what's left on behalf of Lord Anubis. Go and report your findings to him.
Not so fast. I leaped out of cover and stood in the way of the vile ogre.
Ah, there you are. Lord Anubis will be pleased when I tell him you've been destroyed. Do you even know who you're messing with, reptile? I'm Vile Ogre, Anubis's #1 henchman.
Tougher than my poison and netherite sword? From day 95 to day 97, my fight against the vile ogre started. He was bigger and stronger than me, but I had to remind myself that so was I. I'd come a long way since my humble beginnings, but even more importantly, I wasn't fighting just for myself this time. I was fighting to defend my friends who had all worked tirelessly to improve my base, who had helped me persevere when I thought Anubis might beat me, and who had been there for me at my darkest moments. They all deserved protecting, so every swing of my netherite sword or blast of my poison attacks was for them. Luckily for me, the Vile Ogre didn't realize just how familiar I was with the snowy taiga, thanks to the lessons I'd had from the creeper spider. I was able to use the landscape to my advantage, finding some higher ground that I could leap off of with my jump boost. It sent me high into the air and allowed me to get the jump on him, so to speak. I was able to give him one last strike with my netherite sword and a blast of poison to weaken him.
You bested me! How? How is that possible? Lord Anubis promised I'd be heralded in his new world!
He lied. You and I both know he's not the type to keep his word. He betrayed all the other spirits when he took control of the underworld. My poison will whittle away your remaining health in the next few minutes. Maybe think about using that time wisely.
Fine. Anubis resides in a chamber in the heart of his pyramid, surrounded by his undead armies. You'll never make it to him. You're just one lizard, all alone.
Who said I'd be alone? With the Vile Ogre defeated, I knew my time to take on Anubis for the final time would soon be at hand. But I was more determined than ever to beat him. I just needed a little help from my friends. On day 98, I made my way back to my base to see that my allies had already made repairs after the desert mummies had attacked. Since I didn't have to worry about repairs, I went to take a quick rest before the big battle. And just like that, the ghost miner appeared to give words of wisdom afterwards.
You've come quite a long way, Zozo. I am very proud, and the mystery sheep would be too.
Thanks. I couldn't have made it this far without such a great spirit guide. I won't let you down. I'll get to Anubis and put a stop to his plans once and for all. The guardian of the forest also had some wisdom to impart to me before I set off on the last part of my journey.
Remember, Zozo, that wherever you are, your true friend will always be with you. Even if we aren't by your side, we can still take us everywhere we go. We all live in the hearts of those that matter to us, and we care about you just as you care about all of those you've helped.
I'll remember. Thanks for everything. And last, but by no means least, my friend, Big Axolotl, seemed to get a bit emotional just as I was about to leave.
Just look after yourself, Zozo, man. You're gonna do great. Just make sure you come back in one piece. Oh man, I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
On day 99, I made my final return to the snowy taiga, prepared for a final showdown with Anubis. The forest guardian was right. I had all my friends with me, and I was fighting to keep them safe. Not just them, but everyone in the overworld. If Anubis got his way, he'd be in control of life and death, and I couldn't let that happen. Even to strangers, because they say a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. There was a huge horde of desert mummies waiting for me as I arrived at the pyramid. The cold was making them a little tougher than usual, but hopefully it wouldn't take more than a few strikes of my netherite sword to get through them. Suddenly, before I could get down to the fight, I was stopped by the Wolfman.
Come on, Zozo. Did you really think I'd leave this fight all to you? Can't let you have all the fun. Hey, nice new sword. That looks awesome.
Thanks, it's still pretty new.
You go on ahead, Zozo, my friend. I'll take these dusty old clowns. Go give that jackal jerk what for.
The Wolfman rushed in and led the desert mummies away as I ran in to confront Anubis. On day 100, I finally came face to face with Anubis at the center of his pyramid.
You accursed reptile! You really think you can put a stop to my plans? I am Anubis, god of the underworld, and soon the ruler of the overworld too. You are nothing, just a little lizard with no hope of defeating me.
You talk a big game, but you've been scared of me from the start. You tried to stop me from getting stronger at every turn. That tells me that my poison really can stop you.
Not if I destroy you first.
The final battle was at hand. Anubis came in quick with fast, powerful attacks, so I had to take up my sword to defend against him. He was ferocious. Part of me wondered if I could really beat him. My netherite sword was just enough to deflect his blows, but I couldn't get a good swipe in on him. He was just too quick. But I knew I had to stop Anubis once and for all. I leaped high into the air with my jump boost and launched the strongest poison attack I'd ever made. It blasted Anubis right in the face, and the poison started to immediately take effect. It chipped away at his health more and more, enough for me to jump back towards him and land a final blow with my netherite sword. I've done it! I survived 100 days and defeated Anubis once and for all! The overworld was saved from this jackal-headed jerk. I had fulfilled my destiny and, most importantly, protected all of my friends too. On day 1, I spawned into the alien fields as Pikachu, the world's most iconic Pokemon.
Pikachu!
Pikachu! Phew, sorry, allergies. At least I'm starting off with 10 hearts. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I have any powers. Suddenly, I activated my lightning attack and zapped a nearby tree. What a cool starting power! I have electricity powers, just like the real Pikachu. This is gonna be so much fun. But how come I'm the only Pikachu here? Are there any others? But instead of other Pikachu, I saw a big, scary Enderman wandering towards me.
Whoa, a real Pikachu. I thought Broden was just bluffing, but he really did manage to conjure us a Pikachu. How exciting!
Broden? What are you talking about? I'm Zozo. I just got here.
What? It can talk? Gross. That's weird. Broden isn't going to be happy with a defective Pikachu. I better destroy you.
I have no idea what's going on here, but I'm gonna get out as quickly as I can. So I did, turning and running away from the Enderman before he or his mysterious buddy Broden could destroy me. Already, this doesn't seem like a nice place for a Pikachu to be. I took a second to rest when a skeleton came shambling towards me. Not today, Boney. With a zap of my lightning powers, the skeleton was gone. I found somewhere that seemed relatively calm and decided to lay down to rest. I know I'm not meant to be here, but I need to figure out why before I can escape. On day 2, I woke up and decided that I couldn't afford to just sit around and mope about being trapped in this weird world. I need to figure out a solution to my predicament, but first, I need to get myself some tools. With a lot of effort, I broke down a tree until I could make enough planks and sticks to make a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected enough stone to craft myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. Okay, I can't deny that a little Pikachu holding a big stone sword looks really funny. I don't think I'm gonna be able to intimidate anyone like this. Still, with my new tools, I decided to search around until I found an iron golem standing at a campfire, chillin'. He saw me, but he didn't try to chase or attack me. That was a good sign. Excuse me, Mr. Iron Golem, could you explain what's going on around here?
Sure, but first, answer this question for me. Am I dreaming right now?
I don't think so.
So, I'm actually seeing a talking Pikachu right now. Huh, this has gotta be the work of Broden the Conjurer.
Broden, that weird Enderman told me about him. What's his deal?
He's kind of a weird dude. He's a really powerful conjurer, but he's super greedy and possessive. He just uses powers to summon stuff for himself, and if he's not happy with it, he or his goons destroy it.
Yikes, then I guess I gotta stop him before he has a chance to destroy me.
Right on, little dude.
I noticed I was hungry, and the Iron Golem gave me some nice apples to sate my hunger. It was relieving to know that there were still good people out here. On day 3, after leaving the spacey Iron Golem with his campfire, I went off searching for somewhere to live in the alien fields. I should probably start building my base, but man, that's gonna be so much work, especially for a teeny little Pikachu like me. But that's when I had a stroke of good luck. I found a broken down hut in a clearing. Wait, maybe I can clean this place up rather than making a whole base from scratch. That'll be perfect for me. I started cleaning up the mess and rebuilding the broken parts of the base. It felt like some bizarro Pokemon home reno show, but by the time I was done, things were coming along really well. I could see myself staying here. But suddenly, I was interrupted by a vicious killer rabbit running towards me. A creature that weird must have been created by that weird Broden guy, just like me. I zapped the nasty killer rabbit with my lightning powers, then finished it off with my new stone sword. What's down, Duck? It's you. You're down, cause I defeated you. I really need to work on my witty quips. Defeating the rabbit also gave me enough XP to level up. I evolved into a bigger, stronger Pikachu with 20 hearts. Awesome! I really am a Pikachu, and I'm feeling stronger already. With that victory under my belt, I spent the rest of my day watching my favorite show. What an eventful day. From day 4 to day 5, I ventured back into the depths of the alien fields to collect more materials for expanding my base. Electricity-based attacks may be what I'm known for, but it turns out I'm a master carpenter. Who knew? While collecting more stone and chopping down more wood, I heard a rustling and stopped. I turned and saw the same long, lanky Enderman who'd hassled me when I first spawned. Oh no, not you again!
Oh yeah, it's me! Bet you never thought you'd see me again!
I just hoped I'd never see you again. Why do you work for this Broden guy anyway? What does he actually want?
He wants everything, and he can get it too, cause he's a conjurer. Get it? He conjures stuff, and he also conjures things for his friends, like me.
Then why does he want to destroy me? If he can just make himself another Pikachu, can't he just let me go?
He's a perfectionist. If Broden can't have exactly what he wants, he'll destroy everything. That's why I need to destroy you now.
The time for talk was over. I fired a lightning strike at the Enderman, and he fought back. It was a tense battle, but this time I wasn't running. I defeated the Enderman and headed back to my base. This Broden guy sounds like no fun at all. From day 6 to day 8, I entered a cave, feeling confident enough to venture into the depths and get myself some cool new materials. After all, with a cool stone pickaxe, I can finally mine iron ore. This wasn't just some shallow cave though, it kept going and going and going. I had a feeling that I could get lost down here if I wasn't careful. It's so eerie to be alone here. But sadly, I wasn't alone. There was a big, scary wither waiting for me, and it blasted some wither skulls at me. I took a few hits, then returned fire, attacking relentlessly until the wither was no more. I definitely didn't want to run into another one of those. Instead, I went just a little deeper into the cave. There, I found some iron ore and quickly mined a bunch of it. I took it back to my base and smelted it, and created myself a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. This plucky Pikachu is armed and dangerous. From day 9 to day 10, I decided it was time for a change of scenery, so I traveled out to the Badlands, which were hot and dry compared to the alien fields. Still, what a view! However, I wasn't able to take in the view for long, as I was approached by a mysterious figure, an illager from faraway lands. As I approached, I felt a strange energy coming off of him, like he was oddly familiar. Hi there, I'm Zozo. Do I know you from somewhere? I'm getting the weirdest sense of deja vu right now.
You've probably heard of me. I'm the great Broden, impresario, part-time psychic, noted indie singer-songwriter, and conjurer extraordinaire.
Oh no, you're Broden?
Oh yes, I'm Broden, and you belong to me. Time to go, little Pikachu. You can never send an Enderman to do a conjurer's job.
I tried to zap him with my lightning, but it didn't seem to affect him. And with one hit from him, I was already on the ropes. All I could do was run off into the Badlands as fast as I could, until I didn't see Broden the Conjurer anywhere behind me. It was the most stressful day yet. I'm gonna need to become a lot stronger before I'm ready to fight this guy. After a day of aimless wandering, I ended up running into another weird creature, an iron chicken, and we seem to have something in common.
Broden the Conjurer created me too. He thought the idea of an iron chicken was funny, but then after a week, he got bored of me and tried to destroy me. I was lucky to escape with my life.
This guy is a monster. Say, wanna come back to my base with me? Us weird conjured creatures ought to stick together if we want to survive. And as we get stronger, we can work towards defeating him together.
Sounds good to me, Zozo. Let's go.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Iron Chicken. He needed somewhere to stay, so I took the time to build him a new room. Thankfully, with him being a little Iron Chicken, it didn't need to be a very big room. When I was finished, he was eager to get some shut-eye in there.
Thanks, Zozo. This is so much nicer than just wandering around the Badlands.
But while the Iron Chicken slept, I realized I still had a major headache from where Broden the Conjurer hit me. I'm too small for regular armor, but I should probably at least create a helmet to protect my head. I ventured back into the same mining cave from before and descended in. It was just as dark and scary as before, but thankfully this time, there was no wither to bother me. I mined some iron ore to take back to my base and smelt, but on the way back, I was attacked by an angry Pigorus. None of my attacks were powerful enough to hurt him, so I was forced to retreat further back into the cave. I needed a way to defeat him, but I was scared of getting too close and being defeated myself. That's when I found just what I needed, laying around in the cave. A bow and some arrows? Perfect! I went back and used the bow to defeat the Pigorus at a safe distance before running back out of the cave with my hard-earned iron ore. I returned to my base and smelted the iron and used it to craft an iron helmet. This should come in handy the next time I take a knock to the noggin. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke more to the Iron Chicken about his experiences with Broden the Conjurer. Knowledge is power, and the more I knew about him, the more chance I'd have of finding a weakness. So, Iron Chicken, what was it like when he spawned you?
Well, just like you, I spawned in out of nowhere, and Broden was waiting for me. At first, he seemed so nice and kind and happy to see me. He was a little kooky, but honestly, I liked him. But little by little, over time, I could tell something was off. And one day, he attacked me and tried to destroy me, just because he was bored of me. He's incredibly powerful, so if I hadn't moved quickly like I did, I would have been doomed. He's kind when he wants you, and unimaginably cruel when he doesn't. I can only imagine some of the scary things he's conjured over the years.
After hearing the Iron Chicken's story, I felt a chill go down my Pokemon's spine. If he was really that powerful, how could I have any real chance of defeating him? Especially at my current strength level. I'm kind of beginning to wish I hadn't asked now. From day 16 to day 19, I woke up to some shocking news. The Iron Chicken had gone missing. Oh no, I need to find and save him. I wonder where he could be. Strangely, there was a terrible smell lingering. Maybe the Iron Chicken had been kidnapped by some kind of really stinky assailant? I followed the smell as it got stronger and stronger. A day later, I arrived in the bamboo jungle, where the smell was particularly strong. I'm so lucky that this mysterious kidnapper never showers. From there, it didn't take me very long to hunt down the stinky kidnapper. It was a huge, scary file ogre. You're the one who kidnapped my friend. How dare you?
Oh, get over it. Kidnapping your foolish metal chicken friend is the best way to get leverage with Broden the Conjurer. If I return his chicken to him, maybe he'll give me whatever I want.
I'm never gonna let that happen. I fought hard against the stinky vile ogre, using my powers and my iron sword to defeat him. Soon enough, only I remained. This gave me enough XP to level up and evolve again, getting bigger, tougher, going up to 30 hearts. Every day, I'd get a little bigger and tougher. Then, the Iron Chicken ran out from behind the bamboo.
Zozo, that was amazing. I was watching you from behind the bamboo. Thanks for saving me from that stinky weirdo.
No problem, Icy. Head back to the base. We'll talk again later. I'm gonna keep exploring the bamboo jungle. The Iron Chicken left, and I continued looking around. It was a nice, calming place. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants. That's something to aspire to. Over the course of the journey, I ran into a pair of aggressive skeletons. Without any hesitation, I used my lightning to take out the two bony fiends. And shortly after those two were gone, a genie floated out towards me.
Good work defeating those skeletons, Zozo. They were really spoiling the view.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know many things. I also know of your quest to defeat Broden the Conjurer. I may have some information that will help you along the way if you'll hear me out, little Pokemon.
Of course, please, tell me more.
A special food item. One that will give you the power you need to surpass the Conjurer. The Dynamax Candy.
Dynamax Candy? But where can I find it?
I'm afraid I've said too much already. Good luck, Zozo. May we meet again someday.
And with that, the genie left, and I was left alone again. I need to find that Dynamax Candy somehow. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my base to find some skeletons waiting for me. They must have been angry at me for taking out their skeleton buddies back in the bamboo jungles. The skeletons attacked, but now I was strong enough to pretty easily defeat them all. I returned to my room to relax. Iron Chicken came in to talk to me.
You wanted to see me, Zozo?
Yeah, I've had an idea for a statue, something we can build to help inspire us. I know just the thing. Iron Chicken was so eager to get started that he went off to begin while I was still resting. By the time I left my room to take a look, he'd already made some amazing progress. This looks incredible, Iron Chicken.
Thank you, Zozo. I just thought you had such a great idea. I felt completely inspired.
Take a load off now. I'll add a little myself. After the Iron Chicken left to rest, I added a little extra to the statue before calling it a day. Still, Iron Chicken and I had made some pretty amazing progress. Can you tell what it's gonna be yet? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want more Zozo adventures, sub and hit that bell to never miss another one. From day 23 to day 26, a wild Enderman approached me as I was taking in the scenery of my base.
Pikachu, I'll get you!
I've got plenty of Thundershocks, so come and get it! The Enderman attacked, and I was able to fight back effectively by using my electrical attacks. After I destroyed the Enderman with a lightning strike, it dropped a whole bunch of shark-tooth arrows. Way cool! I always thought I'd have to be a surfing Pikachu to get a hold of this many shark teeth. Afterwards, I headed out through the Badlands to give the shark-tooth arrows a shot. The next Enderman I find will be no match for a Pikachu with arrows. I was shooting some weak skeletons to test the weapon when I came across a wandering trader carrying an inventory full of goods. Good afternoon, wandering trader.
Actually, my name is Wooly. I am in fact a wandering trader. I've been wandering through these dangerous badlands and looking for a nice, safe base to peddle my wares. Do you know anywhere like that?
I do. I happen to be the owner of a prime secret base located in the alien fields.
That sounds promising, as long as it's safe.
You won't be disappointed. I'm Zozo, by the way. I brought Wally to the base and built a small storefront where he could sell his items. I wanted to make extra special sure that it was as safe as he wanted it to be. It turns out that Wally had the same idea. By the time I was done constructing his store, the wandering trader had built a perimeter wall around the entire base.
Better safe than sorry, you know.
You got that right. From day 27 to day 31, I talked a bit more with Wally the Wandering Trader. I figured someone as well-traveled as him would probably know many things about the world that my Pikachu self wouldn't.
Ask me anything you wish, Zozo. Information is free of charge.
Have you ever heard of a special food item called the Dynamax Candy?
The Dynamax Candy? I've certainly heard stories about it. They say that whoever eats it gains the ability to grow into a gigantic version of themselves with unbelievable power.
That sounds like exactly what I would need to turn the tables on Borodin the Conjurer. Can you tell me where I can find it?
I don't know exactly where it is, but there is a pixie in the bamboo jungle to the east who I heard the stories of the Dynamax Candy from. If you can find her, maybe she knows more.
A bamboo jungle, huh? I've been there before. I gathered all my best gear and went back towards the bamboo jungle, just like Wally the Wandering Trader suggested. It was a far journey for a Pikachu, but I was a little bigger and stronger than I was at the start of my Pokemon journey. But just because I was a higher level didn't mean the challenges wouldn't get tougher as well. The Vindicator standing in my way was proof of that.
Not so fast there, Pikachu. You may be one of the world's most famous mice, but you're not getting past me.
I guess you're not a Poke fan. Oh well, if you're gonna fight me, then I'm gonna win. Thunderbolt! I used my Lightning Strike to make a first impression, then hit the Vindicator several times with my Iron Sword. He tried to fight back, but my attacks were much faster.
Ouch! Why does Pikachu always get what Pikachu wants?
The Vindicator ran away to fight another day. I wondered if we'll end up crossing paths again. From day 32 to day 35, I continued my journey through the bamboo jungle until I was able to meet up with the Pixie that Wally the Wandering Trader had mentioned. Hey there, I heard you might know about the Dynamax Candy.
Oh, wow! You're a Pikachu! I'm a huge fan. I never thought I'd meet you in person. Well, in Dixie.
Thank you, that's very nice. But I was hoping you could tell me about the Dynamax Candy.
Yeah, I know all about it. Can I have your autograph first?
I feel like this conversation is going in circles. While I was trying to get more specifics out of the Pixie, we were interrupted by the sudden appearance of Borodin the Conjurer.
That's my Pikachu. Go make your own. Besides, it's a defective Pikachu anyway. I'm here to destroy it, so I can make a better one.
Both of us ran for cover to hide from him. Once I was hidden, I noticed that the Pixie was also in my hiding spot. It's too dangerous. You should get away from here while I distract him.
No way. He just said he wanted to destroy you. That's a really rude thing to do to anyone, especially a Pikachu.
I'll be fine. I've gotten away from him before. You should go to my base. We'll talk about the Dynamax Candy there.
I get to go to Pikachu's base? Woohoo! If you make it back there, I'll tell you everything I know about the Dynamax Candy.
Pixie flew away, leaving the area of the battle. Without having to worry about her safety, I could escape Borodin the Conjurer on my own.
Come out, Zozo! I'm going to destroy you!
You'll have to catch me first! I fired a few lightning strikes at him to confuse him and ran for another hiding spot. Borodin began to follow me, so I used a lightning strike on a different block of bamboo jungle to confuse him.
Where are you hiding?
Once he didn't know about my hiding spot, I used my Pikachu speed to flee from battle. From day 36 to day 39, I was back at my base, building a small nest for my new Pixie friend to live.
Thanks for letting me stay at your base. As promised, I'll tell you everything about the Dynamax Candy.
I've been looking forward to hearing you say that.
The Dynamax Candy has been hidden for a very long time because its power could be devastating in the wrong hands. But the old spellcaster who hid it away wrote down its true location in his book of secrets. That way, if it ever needed to be used to defeat a great evil, there would be a way to retrieve it.
That's exactly what I need it for. Where did this old spellcaster used to live?
In the Blue Giant Taiga. His book of secrets should still be there. But be warned, no one who has gone to the Blue Giant Taiga has ever returned.
I'm not just anyone. I'm a Pikachu. It should be no problem for me.
By the way, I saw you were working on a statue, and I made some additions to it.
I went and looked at the statue to see what they had added, and was very impressed by what I saw. That's some excellent building there, Pixie.
I wanted to do what I could to make this the best Pikachu base ever.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to visit the storefront of Wally the Wandering Trader that I built into my base. What's happening, Wally?
Zozo, good to see you. I've actually heard of an intriguing rumor about a nearby cave. It is said to contain a small fortune in diamonds.
Whoa, diamonds! Having some of those would go a long way towards better gear. I better go check this out.
Yes, but be careful. It is said that a Hydra has made its lair in the cave and is eating everyone who tries to take the diamonds.
I went to the cave that Wally the Wandering Trader had mentioned, and just like he said, there were plenty of diamonds ripe for mining. Didn't he also say there was a… I heard the many heads of a Hydra roar as the monster showed itself. A Hydra! That's what Wally warned me about. At first, I tried using my sword, but then I remembered that Hydras can easily regenerate their heads. So I dodged back and tried my lightning strike. It was a tough fight, and I had to keep avoiding the Hydra's attacks, but I took the beast down and was able to claim the treasure inside the cave. I mined the diamonds and decided to give both my sword and pickaxe a long-awaited upgrade. Now I had a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe. From day 44 to day 49, I arrived in the blue giant taiga, the dangerous biome from which nobody was said to return. There's a first time for everything though. I journeyed through the terrain until I encountered a dread scuttler. My speed was much higher, so I kept my distance and pelted it with shark tooth arrows. Once the dread scuttler was weak enough, I used a lightning strike to finish it off. The mobs here are definitely tough. I'd better stay on guard.
Oh, skeletons! No, have mercy!
The voice was coming from a fiery hippogriff who was being chased by a band of evil-looking skeletons. I decided that I should help him out. Back off, you nasty skeletons! I'm a Pikachu with a diamond sword, and I'm not afraid to use it! It was no easy feat to defeat them all, but when I managed to win, the fiery hippogriff was really impressed with my strength in battle.
Wow, I've never seen a Pikachu fight like that. I've actually never seen a Pikachu either.
I'm Zozo. I was actually conjured here by the evil Broden, and I'm looking for a book of secrets here in the blue giant taiga.
Oh, I've heard of that. I was actually the old spellcaster's prized fiery hippogriff. We were as close as a trader and a Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome! Can you take me to the book?
Sadly, it's been a long time since the old spellcaster was alive, and I've been chased around by the tundra's monsters ever since. I bet we can get closer to the book if we retrace my steps, though.
From day 50 to day 53, I followed the fiery hippogriff as he led me deeper into the blue giant taiga in the hopes that we could find any of his old master's belongings that could lead us to the book.
Hey, Zozo, if this goes well, do you think you could introduce me to Charizard? I've always wanted to meet him.
I actually don't know any other Pokemon, even though I'm a Pikachu. But let's not worry about that now. I'm sure Charizard would be proud to know you.
Oh, shucks. I sure hope so.
A little later, the fiery hippogriff and I split up to cover more ground, and I ran into the Vindicator, who gave me some trouble at the bamboo forest. How many times do I need to teach you a lesson, Vindicator?
There won't be a lesson. I'll be vindicated in the end, because I am a Vindicator.
The only thing you are is going down! We battled, and I easily took him out using my diamond sword. I decided to continue searching the area of the blue giant taiga I was in. But with so much ground to cover, it felt like I was getting nowhere. If only the old spellcaster was here himself to tell me how to find his old stuff.
Actually, I am!
A ghost!
Yes, I may be a ghost, but before that, I was the old spellcaster who hid the Dynamax candy.
But you could just tell me directly where the Dynamax candy is hidden away.
Oh, yeah. Well, the truth is, I kind of forgot where it was.
Guess I'll have to keep looking for your book then.
I guess so, but know this, young Pikachu. Strength does not come from your size. It comes from the size of your strength.
From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base and found that all my friends had been expanding it with new sections since I was away. Wally had created a marketplace so that other merchants could sell things here in the future. Excellent market, Wally. You might start bringing in some trainers as customers.
Thanks, Zozo. Consider yourself the company mascot.
Never heard that one before. Next, I visited the Pixie, who had built a Pikachu fan club where all of my biggest fans could hang out.
And I'm the club president.
Afterwards, the Iron Chicken approached me with some not-so-good news.
A Dreadghoul came by and did some damage to the base before we made our expansions, and he ran off with a diamond helmet that I crafted for you.
I went out into the alien fields to hunt down that Dreadghoul and reclaim the diamond helmet that was stolen from my base. It wasn't that long until I found the mob, and with my lightning strikes I was able to destroy it without getting too close. When it went down, it dropped Iron Chicken's diamond helmet. It was a gift for me after all. I'm sure he'll let me keep it. From day 58 to day 62, I was woken up from a nap by Iron Chicken, who wanted to show me how the construction on the statue was progressing.
Since we're not conjurers, everything we make takes hard work.
And hard work pays off. The statue is looking fantastic so far. I walked around the statue to get a closer look and noticed to my shock that an Enderman was standing right there. What are you doing here?
What else? I'm here to bring down this Pikachu base for our boss, Broden the Conjurer, and I'm gonna destroy you too.
Just try it, Enderman. I zapped the Enderman with my lightning strikes, frying him up like a toasty puffin. Who is next? I heard the other Enderman wreaking havoc across the alien fields, so I quickly rushed out of my base to deal with the Enderman menace. I defeated all the Endermen that had been attacking around the base very quickly by using my lightning strikes, and quickly searched inside the base to see if every one of my friends were still alive. Unfortunately, the Endermen had done their worst, and I saw Wally destroyed by an Enderman. The Enderman ran away, and I vowed revenge. From day 63 to day 66, I went back to the blue giant taiga in order to find the Book of Secrets. The sooner I can eat that Dynamax candy, the sooner I can defeat Broden and save everyone from his cruelty. After a lot more searching, I found the book pinned to a tree. I picked the book up and read what was inside. The Dynamax candy must be kept out of the clutches of evil because it could grant any being that eats it the ability to grow gigantic. Therefore, I am leaving it in the trusted care of my spellcasting apprentice, Broden the Conjurer. No, the Dynamax candy is with Broden. That's the worst place it could be. An Enderman ran up behind me, ready to fight. Somehow I knew it was the same one that had destroyed Wally the Wandering Trader. I got ready for a fight.
So, you found the book. Too bad it won't do you any good.
I learned plenty, Enderman, and I'm not scared of you or your boss.
How adorable. Now suffer like your friend did.
The Enderman attacked me with his long arms, so I countered with my diamond sword. I knew agility would be the key to winning this fight, so I circled around him and landed hit after hit. This is for Wally! Now that I had gotten revenge, it was time to pay the spot I was conjured into a visit. From day 67 to day 70, I went to the alien fields and found the enemy base in the form of a magical mansion. It was guarded by an Enderman, so I just knew that it had to be where Broden had been entrusted to guard the Dynamax candy. There was no sign of the Conjurer himself, so I snuck in and began to search through the entire base. Because I was quick and nimble, I easily avoided all of the Enderman guards until I ran into a mutant Enderman who spotted me immediately.
You can't hide from me, you defective Pikachu. I'm going to do what the others couldn't and destroy you once and for all.
The mutant Enderman's attack were much stronger than the ordinary kind. If I didn't have my diamond helmet, I would have already been down for the count. I was losing hearts fast, and my electric attacks were barely doing anything to him. This is what my shark tooth arrows are for. I switched to my bow and hit the mutant Enderman with a bunch of arrows. Then I attacked with my diamond sword.
Now I see why Broden has been having so much trouble with you.
Don't take me lightly just because I'm a Pikachu. I began to use my lightning strikes again, and this time they seemed to be having an effect. I didn't let up on my sword either, and made sure this mutant Enderman felt the sting of every one of my attacks.
You may have beaten me this time, but I'll end you next time.
The mutant Enderman retreated. I guess just because he was bigger and more mutated than the others didn't mean he was anything to be scared of. From day 71 to day 74, I proceeded to the treasure room of the enemy base, now that the mutant Enderman was out of my way. I expected that the Dynamax candy would be there, but it wasn't there. Of course, Broden must have given up on his responsibilities a long time ago. The old spellcaster trusted him, and he turned totally evil. Not cool at all. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the base, Broden was laughing about the fact that I couldn't find the Dynamax candy.
That foolish Pikachu thought I'd keep the Dynamax candy. I threw that thing out years ago. Who needs to guard the item that can defeat evil when you are evil?
From day 75 to day 78, I made a swift return to my base and found that the Pixie and the Iron Chicken had done some more work on the base. Pixie had refurbished the shop where Wally the Wandering Trader had once sold his items and had made it into a Pokemon-themed gift store.
Isn't this great? Now everybody who comes to visit the base will be able to have their own Pikachu merchandise.
That's a really good idea. Wally would have wanted us to keep using his store. Iron Chicken's improvement was another form of defense. He reinforced the walls of the base to make them even more fortified.
No Enderman is gonna get through this, Zozo.
Actually, I think there is one who could get through. I better make sure he doesn't try anything funny. It turns out, I was right to suspect that mutant Enderman would try to break through our walls.
We have unfinished business, and I intend to finish that business.
Not if I finish it first. I let loose a barrage of shark-tooth arrows on the mutant Enderman, which did a lot of damage. You should have run while you had the chance. Pikachu! I used my lightning attack to weaken the mutant Enderman, then used my sword to deliver the final strike. I did it! My victory in the battle made me into an even higher level Pikachu with greater electrical power and speed. I could now perform a Mega Jump move that would get me free of any enemy's range of attack. And I've got 50 hearts now too! I also noticed that the mutant Enderman dropped a hint when he was defeated, a page that was ripped out of the Book of Secrets. The only place to dispose of the Dynamax candy is in the fires of the Badlands. From day 79 to day 84, I went to the Badlands to follow the hint from the torn page. This place was where I first encountered Broden the Conjurer. Maybe the reason why he was here was to throw away the Dynamax candy so it could never be used against him. I didn't see anything that looked like the Dynamax candy, but I did notice a siren who was also scouting the area. Hey, are you looking for the Dynamax candy too?
So, you figured me out. I heard something about Broden throwing away a powerful weapon here, and I want to grab it so I can get revenge on him.
Don't tell me, you're another conjured being like me?
You got that right. Broden wanted to have me to himself until he didn't. I'm sure you must know the same pain, Pikachu?
I do! Maybe if we team up, we can take him down together!
Sorry, but there's only one candy, and I've got a sweet tooth.
The siren fired laser beams at me, and I knew that I had to fight back. I Mega jumped up and used the lightning strikes to weaken the foe before attacking with my diamond sword and winning. I didn't want to defeat you, Siren. You and I were the same.
No, we're not. You're stronger. And because of that, I'm going to tell you that Broden probably took the Dynamax candy back to its rightful place.
Why would he do that after he tried to destroy it?
At first, I didn't know. I was just as confused as you were when I couldn't find it here. Back then, I saw how strong you were. You were the only thing Broden had conjured that might actually threaten him. So I'm sure he got the candy back in case he needs to use it on you.
From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the Blue Giant Taiga and began to make my preparations to go face Broden the Conjurer at his base. I knew he'd be stronger than any of his minions, so I enlisted the help of the Fiery Hippogriff to get more information about Broden. Your former master used to train Broden in spellcasting. Is there anything you can tell me about why he might have gone evil?
From what I can remember, the old spellcaster used to say that magic is for solving problems, not for making them. And I think Broden disagreed.
So even though he conjured everything he wanted, he was really just making problems for himself?
Pretty much. He always had second thoughts after he conjured something because nothing he made could ever be good enough. This was especially true when he made the Dynamax candy.
Broden made the Dynamax candy?
Yeah, I think he did. And it was the one thing he made that he couldn't destroy.
But he won't use it either. So if I can eat it, I'll be able to crush him. Thanks for your help, Fiery.
Good luck. Do what the old spellcaster couldn't and teach Broden a lesson.
From day 90 to day 94, I went into the same cave where I found the diamonds so I could gather materials for my strongest gear yet. In the darkest depths of the cave, I found a chest that contained a netherite ingot. These will do the trick. I used a nearby smithing table and combined the netherite with my diamond sword to upgrade it to a netherite sword. This weapon will be the one I'll use to break through Broden's base defenses and take the Dynamax candy for myself. From day 95 to day 97, I visited my friends at the base to tell them that it was almost time for me to leave. First, I visited Pixie, who had been looking at the statue and thinking about how to upgrade it.
Hey, Zozo! The statue is almost done, but it needs a Pikachu's touch to be complete.
I've got you covered, Pixie. I went to the statue and did the remaining work that was needed. The full version was a statue of Ash Ketchum, Pikachu's trainer from the very beginning. When I looked at the statue, there was only one thought that echoed through my mind. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
You already are the best in my eyes.
Thanks, Pixie. I said goodbye to her, then went to go see how Iron Chicken was doing.
Is it almost time to face off against Broden?
You know it, buddy. On day 98, I was still talking with Iron Chicken about the upcoming battle with Broden the Conjurer. It felt like we had been through so much in this crazy world ever since we were conjured into it, and soon our troubles would be coming to an end. You're like a brother to me, Iron Chicken. I hope you know that.
The same to you, Zozo. I say that we end this battle together as brothers. When you go to face Broden, I want to be there right by your side.
Of course, you'll always be welcome on my adventures. And so will you when you watch me out there. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can check out my other adventures. Don't forget to leave a comment about what I should do next. On day 99, Iron Chicken and I left the base and crossed the alien fields to arrive at Broden the Conjurer's magical lair. Are you ready for this, Iron Chicken?
Let's do this, my brother in Conjuration! I can't wait to defeat Broden once and for all.
Yeah, we may have been brought into this world by a mean guy who didn't even want us, but we gotta meet each other, and now we're a family. We entered the enemy compound and fought off some weak skeletons, which were effortlessly ground into bones by my netherite sword. No bones about it. Even Iron Chicken was able to take down a bunch of skeletons by himself.
Zozo, I'm tough as iron, but I think you should continue on alone.
All right, I'll make sure to end this, once and for all. On day 100, the last couple Endermen that Broden the Conjurer had left tried to stand in the way.
Curse you, darn Pikachu! You've sent us blasting off again and again, but not this time!
By now, my electrical attacks were very capable of roasting the Endermen without much difficulty, so I cleared a path for myself to keep moving. Before long, I had reached the room where the Dynamax candy was stored. There it was, sweet as candy. I had to have it. Time to Pikachu on this candy. I love puns. I gobbled up the candy and grew to gigantic size. I had become my mightiest form of all, Gigantamax Pikachu. I had 80 hearts and felt like my lightning was stronger than ever. Shortly after I ate the Dynamax candy, Broden entered the room.
No! What have you done? You've gained the power of the Dynamax candy!
I sure have. What now, Broden?
How about this?
He rushed towards me and dealt a heavy blow, but I was adamant to defeat him. So I countered with lightning strikes and brought my netherite sword into the fight with a vengeance.
I conjured you into this world, and I can unconjure you!
No, you don't, Broden. This Pikachu is a free Pokemon. I hit him with my sword and then delivered the final strike of Max Lightning, taking him out for good. Guess it's all Pika now. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a slippery, fiery fire eel. I'm one spicy unagi, but I wouldn't be very filling. I'm only a baby eel, but I'm sure I could still pack a fiery punch. I breathed a jet of fire, one of my awesome fire eel starter powers. I was feeling super confident about what the next 100 days could hold. But my confidence didn't last for long, because a huge dread beast came running across the Badlands towards me. There was no way he was up to anything good. Still, I tried my best to be polite. Hey there, dread beast. I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you. What a lovely day we're having, right?
Yes, a lovely day. Even lovelier now that I've found you, a delicious fire eel.
Wait, what? What do you mean delicious?
I am the all-devouring dread beast, Zozo. All that matters to me is finding and eating tasty things, because I'm always hungry.
Oh no.
And don't even think about slithering away, little eel. I love fast food.
But I slithered away anyway, going as fast as I could. There was no way I was going to be devoured by a dread beast on my very first day in the overworld. But I don't think that nasty dread beast is gonna quit either. I need to get strong enough to beat that monster, or I worry I'm gonna spend 100 days preparing to become its lunch. On day 2, I kept slithering until I finally found a place in the Badlands to stop and catch my breath. It's not exactly the most hospitable place to spawn. Then again, given that I'm a fire eel, it's probably better than spawning somewhere cold. And hey, at least I have 10 hearts. I realized that all that talk about eating me had, weirdly, made me kind of hungry. These will make for a perfect snack. I busted down the tree and started eating those delicious crunchy apples, feeling my hunger bar replenish. That's when I felt something that a fire eel should never want to feel, the cold. I turned and saw that it was because a ghost was floating right behind me.
Give in, Zozo. To be devoured by the mighty dread beast is your destiny.
What? You don't even have anything to do with that. You're just some random ghost. Why would you want the dread beast to eat me?
You're so foolish, Zozo. I have everything to do with it. I was a villager once, and then the dread beast ate me. I came back as a ghost, forever enslaved to his will.
That's terrifying. I'm sorry, Mr. Ghost, but there's no way I'm letting that happen to me. I turned and ran for my life in the opposite direction. That spooky ghost and his master/eater had already freaked me out enough for one day. When I came to a stop, alone in the middle of the Badlands, I was exhausted and honestly felt like crying. That's when I was approached by a surprisingly friendly Gorgon.
Hey, little buddy, you look sad. I'm Grace. Grace the Gorgon. Why don't you come with me? I can help you out.
That sounds nice. Thank you. I've had a really hard day.
Oh, don't I know it? Come with me. I'll take you to a friend of mine's place. You'll be safe there.
On day 3, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled through the Badlands until we found a small shack with a troll waiting outside. But rather than posting mean comments on the internet, he seemed happy to see us. Grace the Gorgon hung back while I approached to get acquainted with the cheerful troll.
The name's Terry. Terry the troll. You look like you seen a ghost, fella.
I have seen a ghost, actually, and it was the ghost of one of the past victims of a giant monster that wants to eat me.
Whoa, that's heavy, man. A monster wants to eat ya. That sounds like something the dread beast would do.
Yes, the dread beast. That's the one. Is there anything I could do to stop that awful monster from eating me?
Isn't it obvious? You're gonna need to slay it. Get it before it gets you. You get me?
Slay the dread beast? That doesn't sound like it's gonna be easy.
Sure, it won't be easy, but is anything worth doing ever easy? Get out there, make a base, get some allies who will work with you. It'll be tough, and it'll take time, but the way I see it, little fire eel, it's the only way you're gonna get out of this.
Well, an eel's gotta do what an eel's gotta do. Thanks for the advice, Terry. I'm gonna try my best to get strong enough and make enough allies to defeat the dread beast. From day 4 to day 5, Grace the Gorgon and I went deeper into the Badlands until we found an area that looked like it'd be perfect for building a base.
But you're gonna need some tools first, Zozo. Maybe start out by gathering some wood.
Good idea, Grace. I used what little baby eel strength I had to break down a tree and collect the wood for building a wooden pickaxe. It's mining time! And then I mined into the ground, collecting enough stone to build myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. But I didn't stop there. I continued gathering stone until I had enough to build myself a basic base with 2 rooms. One for me and one for Grace the Gorgon.
These rooms both look awesome, Zozo.
Thank you. It wasn't easy to build them, but I'm glad I did. Out of curiosity, Grace, why did you choose to stay with me?
Because I hate bullies, and I wasn't going to leave you out there, vulnerable to the dread beast. We'll stick together and win this thing.
Oh, you're the best, Grace. And that moment was so heartwarming. My hearts grew twice as big. Literally, I was bigger, stronger, had 20 hearts, and I gained an awesome new ability, shooting flaming wither skulls. Ah, yeah, that's more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out to a new location, the Basalt Barrera. It's nice to take a load off and see new places. It takes my mind off the fact that a terrifying monster wants to eat me alive. Oh no, now I'm thinking about it again. But I didn't have any more time to stand around feeling anxious because the same ghost that was hassling me earlier emerged out of the trees.
Zozo, I found you.
I really wish you'd unfind me.
You still have your sense of humor. Good. You'll need that when you're a ghost. The days are dark and the nights are long. It will never end.
Actually, it's gonna end for you right now. I was sick of being chased away by monsters, so I unleashed my fire breath onto the ghost, weakening him and making him physical before finishing him off with my stone sword. Nobody's eating me. I won't allow it. My battle with the ghost must have caught the attention of a Cyclops who was wandering through the Basalt Barrera. He immediately approached me with an offer.
Name's Sid the Cyclops. I may not have great depth perception, but I can see a real strength in ya. Think you can do a job for me? I got a local freaky customer who needs attending to.
Sure, I'll give it the old fire eel try. From day 9 to day 10, I went out to a remote part of the Basalt Barrera with Sid the Cyclops following close behind. Who exactly do you want me to fight here, Sid?
Believe me, when you see him, you'll know.
And Sid was right. The second I saw him, I did know. It was a huge, frightening Dread Knight. I could see why Sid didn't want to take him on himself. Well, here goes nothing. I ran in and faced the Dread Knight alone.
Doth thou wish to challenge me, knave?
Oh yeah, consider yourself challenged.
'Tis a battle then.
I fought the Dread Knight, but none of my attacks seemed to do any damage. The fight seemed hopeless, and in the end, all I could do was turn and run. I met back up with Sid the Cyclops, not far from the site of the battle. I'm not strong enough to take on this Dread Knight yet, Sid, but until I am, how about you come and hang out at my base?
Sure sounds like a gas. Let's go.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Sid the Cyclops. I got to work on building him a new room right alongside the rooms I'd built for myself and Grace. By the time I was done, Sid looked delighted.
I've always wanted a second home. This is a big deal for me. I feel like a celebrity or something.
I'm glad you like it, Sid. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Well, it's not quite as humble now. Go take a look at some upgrades I created while you were building my bedroom.
I took a look at the upgrades, and I was extremely impressed. He'd built a furnace, which would allow me to smelt ores into ingots for building weapons and armor. And he'd also built a storage room where I could store more weapons and resources. Speaking of resources, I'm hungry. I should probably find a way to keep my food supply sustainable. To that end, I started herding some chickens from the surrounding badlands and created a small farm with some coops to keep them for eggs and chicken. And now, it's time to put that furnace to good use. I searched until I found a deep cave, and inside, it didn't take me long to find a nice vein of iron ore. I mined it with my stone pickaxe until I had enough to take back. I returned to my base and smelted the ore into iron ingots. With the help of a few leftover sticks, I made myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. This will give me something to put in the storage room too. From day 13 to day 15, I started feeling antsy, thinking about the fact that the Dread Beast was out there, biding its time, waiting for the right moment to strike. I realized that I needed to get stronger, so I returned to Grace the Gorgon for some advice on what I should do next.
One of the biggest sources of the Dread Beast's power is the legion of ghosts created from his former meals. The more of them you can free from their bounds on the overworld, the weaker he'll be. I actually think there's another one near here at the Basalt Barrera.
Because Grace always seemed to be right, I ventured out to the Basalt Barrera, and exactly as she'd predicted, there was one of the Dread Beast's ghostly servants waiting for me. Looks like I have my work cut out for me here. Through a mix of my fire attacks and the work of my strong new iron sword, I was able to defeat the ghost. It even dropped a potion of strength on the ground, which I picked up and drank. Wait, I can feel something happening. Suddenly, I started to grow, getting bigger and feeling my number of hearts grow to 30. I also experienced additional damage on every single one of my attacks. Grace was right, I'm much stronger already. This really was the trip out here. From day 16 to day 19, I went out to the bayou as a test of my courage. It was dangerous to wander around there with so much water everywhere. Still, what's life without a little risk here and there? I can't be a truly powerful fire eel if I'm not brave. But this journey was more valuable than just building up my confidence. While I was slithering along, I discovered a strange old book of fairy tales and decided to give it a read. Man's hunger for wealth and power once unlocked darker and deeper hungers. Greedy miners who wanted diamonds and gold dug deeper than they should and uncovered the monstrous Dread Beast, a creature with a hunger to devour the whole world. Wow, so that's where the Dread Beast came from. I wonder what I can do with this information. But I didn't have time to ponder on this for too long because I looked up and saw another eerie ghost floating toward me out of the darkness of the bayou.
You can't escape, Zozo. I thought I could escape. I was so silly. He ate me like he ate all the others. He'll eat you too, Zozo. He'll eat you too.
I vaporized the ghost with a wither skull and then ran out of there. I didn't feel like spending any more time in the bayou that day. From day 20 to day 22, I went back into the mining cave to collect a little more iron ore before returning to my base and smelting it into iron ingots. I've got some cool weapons and tools. Now it's time to get myself some awesome armor. I made an iron chest plate, which, admittedly, you couldn't actually see on my FIRE EEL body, but would provide me some valuable defensive abilities anyway. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but now it's time to use that strength for good. There's an old score I have to settle. I returned again to the Basalt Pereira with one thing on my mind, finally defeating the Dread Knight. When I found him again, I pulled out my sword and squared up to him.
Dost thou return to fight me, you sad little Fire Eel? You cannot destroy that which has already been destroyed.
What does that even mean?
Once upon a time, I was a knight, a brave and powerful knight. I battled many a monster, and believed that I could also slay the Dread Beast. But I was wrong, terribly, terribly wrong. The Dread Beast devoured me, and now my soul is bound to his. I'm a shade of my former self.
Then let me free you from this terrible state, Dread Knight. I fired a Wither Skull at the Dread Knight, then ran in to battle him directly. With my new skills and my iron sword, I was able to hold my own against the Dread Knight and eventually destroy him. Rest well, tragic knight. I'll avenge you and all the others.
Oh, will you now?
I turned with horror to see the Dread Beast itself standing close behind me. Even with my new strength, he still looked just as frightening.
Tasty, tasty little eel. It's almost time, Zozo. I'm getting so hungry I can barely control myself.
I didn't want to stick around and see if the Dread Beast could keep a leash on his appetite. Instead, I just turned and ran away as quickly as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base to tell Sid the Cyclops that I had managed to defeat the Dread Knight and free him from his torment in the process.
Zozo, how did the go, my guy?
The Dread Knight won't be bothering you anymore. I don't feel much like celebrating about it though. He was just as much a victim of the Dread Beast as me. He's really, really evil.
Evil is as evil does, I guess. What can we do about it?
We can help each other. We can fight back.
I like where your head's at, kid. But where do we start?
Should probably upgrade my gear. If I want to do that, I'd better get mining. I headed down into the mining cave to see what I could find. I managed to gather some iron ingots, and I took them back to my base and smelted them, making an iron helmet. I feel tougher already. Then Grace the Gorgon approached me.
I heard what you did for the Dread Knight. That was an amazing start. As a thank you for your hard work, I've added an improvement to the base that I believe you'll approve of. It's a security bunker, a safe place to retreat to in the event of an ambush by the Dread Beast or one of his ghostly army.
Awesome, thank you! From day 27 to day 31, I went back out to the bayou, equipped with my new helmet and a renewed sense of purpose. I was a little worried I would run into another ghost, but instead, a big friendly panda came ambling up to me.
I heard you're the guy who got rid of that ghost who was terrorizing us out in these parts. Thank you kindly for that.
Of course! Are there any more ghosts out here?
None that I've seen, but if you're offering help, I sure could use a place to stay. See, that nasty ghost critter tore my house right up. Any chance you've got a spare room? And that room is panda-sized?
Sure. Well, I don't have a room for you yet, but I can build one. Let's go back to my base and we'll get you settled in.
Thanks. By the way, my name's Patrick.
I'm Zozo.
You sure are impressive for an eel, Zozo.
Well, that's kind of reductive, but thanks anyway. Come on. Patrick the Panda followed me back to my base, and I got to work on building him a room where he could stay. When I was finished, Grace the Gorgon came to talk to me.
Zozo, Terry the Troll needs help. There's a ghost attacking his home, but I can't fight it alone. Will you come with me and help?
Of course, poor Terry. Let's head on over there right now. From day 32 to day 35, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled to the Badlands to help Terry the Troll. When we got there, Terry's shack was a mess. And I don't mean he forgot to pick up his dirty socks. I mean the whole thing had been knocked down. And Terry was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was just a creepy ghost hovering out front.
You're too late, Zozo. Your friend has already left this life behind. Pity he died this way and not in the jaws of the mighty Dread Beast. He was not as lucky as you will be.
What do you mean? That can't be true!
But it is. One way or another, you will join us. I have heard that the Dread Beast is craving eel pie, and his hunger will soon be sated.
No, it won't. You may have taken my friend, but I'll never let you beat me. I shot a Wither Skull at the ghost and vaporized it. It felt good, but I was still heartbroken about Terry.
We can't let Terry's death be in vain, Zozo.
I may only be a little fire eel, but as long as I have fire breath in my body, I won't let the Dread Beast do this to anyone ever again! From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the Basalt Barrera. Now that I got rid of the Dread Knight, this place is pretty peaceful. I'd love to kick back and relax out here. Well, not kick, I don't have feet, but you get the idea. I was just about to try and squeeze in a little relaxation between quests when another ogre approached me.
Oi, your name's Zozo, isn't it? I've got a right awful bloke in me house. He just won't leave. I tried to chase him out, and he said he'd burn me to a crisp, he did.
Wow, people from the Nether sure have a funny way of talking. But I get what you mean, friend. Show me the way, and I'll do my best to help. He took me to his house, where, sure enough, a great big fire ogre was getting ready to burn the place down. Luckily, I threw a wither skull and stopped him before he could torch the Nether ogre's house. Here you go. Still just as not burnt down as it was before.
Well, Bob's your uncle. Say, you're that bloke what's looking to get rid of the Dread Beast?
I am.
Well, he's only out there in the swamplands, he is.
That's good to know. I just won't go there until I'm strong enough to fight and win. From day 40 to day 43, I traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was surprised to find Sid the Cyclops waiting for me.
Hey there, Zozo. While you were out, I built some additional rooms.
Oh, that's amazing. I need a room for my friend here. But what made you think of that?
Well, I was hoping we could invite more guests to come stay. I know a few guys.
It turns out that very guy was Patrick the Panda, who I'd already met. The more the merrier. Here's your new room, Patrick.
Holy, it's perfect, Zozo. Say, could you do me one more favor? Could you go to the bayou and get my favorite book? I left it out there, and I've got a hankering for reading.
Sure, I'll head over there now. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the bayou to look for Patrick the Panda's favorite book. I probably should have asked him what it looked like, or what it was called. Oh well, I'm here now. But I wasn't the only one here. The terrifying Dread Beast popped out right in front of me.
Indeed you are, Zozo. Tasty eel, it's almost my supper time. Once it is, I will feast. And the prophecy foretells that once I eat a fire eel, I will reach my ultimate power and devour all that I see.
I'll never let you eat me, especially not after you said all that scary stuff.
When the time comes, you will not be able to escape.
With that, he disappeared, but I didn't get a chance to wonder where he went. In his place, he left behind a huge, mean-looking blue manticore.
Look upon your future, Zozo. If I could not defeat the Dread Beast, then surely a tiny, insignificant fire eel will not be able to. You will be devoured like the rest.
Why still work for him after what he did to you?
Fool, there is no choice. Once the Dread Beast has eaten you, there is no freedom.
That's terrible. I could tell he was the toughest opponent I'd faced so far, but if I wanted to save myself and free the blue manticore from the Dread Beast's grip, I was going to have to win! From day 50 to day 53, I continued my fight against the blue manticore. He was even stronger than he looked. I was pretty worried that I might not make it out of this one.
Just accept your fate!
Never! No one deserves that! I used all of the strength I had and fought as hard as I could. And with the help of my trusty Wither Skull, I finally managed to defeat him. But by the time I did, the Dread Beast was long gone. I was hoping to find out where exactly his base is. I know it's in a swamp, but where? Just then, I noticed something on the ground. The manticore must have dropped it. I took a closer look, and it was a map with Dread Beast Clubhouse written on it. This must be where his base is. Once I'm strong enough, I'm going straight there. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for Patrick the Panda's book. Finally, I came across a book lying on the ground. I went over to pick it up, but a hell ostrich leapt at me and started attacking. Hey, that's my friend's book. I need it back. The hell ostrich didn't say anything. It just kept attacking me. Okay, we don't have to chat about it, but you just have to let me take the book. With a few well-timed attacks, I was able to defeat the hell ostrich and grab the book. Sure enough, it said Panda's book on it. It also dropped something else, netherite ingots. Maybe I can use these later. I hurried back to my base to find Patrick the Panda. Patrick, I got your book.
Thank you, Zozo. I reckon I'll never know how to repay you.
You can pay me back with your friendship and by enjoying that book.
I also happen to have heard tell of a magic apple, one that gives anyone who eats it a massive boost of strength. Might be just what you need.
I'll keep an eye out for a magic apple then. From day 58 to day 62, I took a look around my base. This place is pretty great, but it could be even better. I wandered over to the chicken farm and had an idea. That's it! I'll expand this area so we can have even more chickens. With all of these new people staying at the base, we'll need lots of eggs. After that, I headed back into the mining cave to look for anything I could use to upgrade my gear. It took a long time, but I managed to find some diamonds. I took them back to my base and used them to craft a set of diamond armor, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond sword. Wait until the Dread Beast gets a look at this. Good luck eating all these diamonds. Grace the Gorgon then approached with some more good news.
Zozo, come and see what I've done. I've added to the base. This is the party room, where we can all celebrate when you've bested the beast. I know you can do it.
Thanks for believing in me, Grace. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at my base, practicing my dance moves in the party room when Sid the Cyclops came to see me.
Zozo, I heard that there might be some helpful materials in Birch Forest.
Where'd you hear that?
Got a tip from my materials guy.
It's good enough for your guy, it's good enough for me. I traveled to the Birch Forest and got to work looking for anything useful. As I searched, I spotted a maned wolf stalking her way toward me. Please don't attack me, I'm busy.
I wasn't gonna attack you. I was gonna say hi and ask you for a favor if that's okay. I'm Mallory.
Nice to meet you. I'm Zozo. What kind of favor?
My baby was kidnapped by a silver skeleton. Please help me get it back.
Of course. Where did you last see him? Let's go. From day 67 to day 70, I followed the maned wolf to another part of the Birch Forest. There, I could see a silver skeleton. Where are you hiding the baby maned wolf?
I'll never tell. She's definitely not locked in that building over there.
Huh, I tricked you. Time to fight. I didn't give the silver skeleton any more time. I shot a wither skull at the skeleton. He attacked me in return, but my armor kept me from taking too much damage. Then it was time to test out my new diamond sword. I was able to defeat the silver skeleton with only 2 swipes. Then I opened the door to the nearby totally not suspicious building, and there was the baby wolf.
Thank you so much. I'll change her name to Zozo after you.
That's really nice, but please don't do that. A thanks is enough. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to follow the map to the cold swamplands and try to sneak a look at that Dread Beast hideout. While I was following the map's path, I started thinking about how much had already happened. I've had some amazing adventures so far. To find even more of my awesome antics, make sure to search ZOZO. That's my name. Finally, I reached the cold swamplands. Jeez, they call it cold for a reason. This is definitely no place for a fire eel. Then, in swooped the Dread Beast.
You will have plenty of time to get used to it after I've had my meal and your spirit is trapped here forever.
The Dread Beast found me before I found him. Time to see if I'm ready to fight this guy. I shot a wither skull at him, but he tanked it with complete ease. I'll try the sword. I attacked with my sword, but he barely seemed to feel it.
Like a mere paper cut.
Uh-oh, he hit me back, and my new armor protected me from getting completely knocked down, but I knew I wouldn't last too much longer. I'm not ready to take him on. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. I wish I could fight him now, but if I do that before I get stronger, I'll lose for sure. I decided to lie down in my room for a while. I want to be a hero, but I'm starting to think that, sadly, I'm only an eel. Grace the Gorgon knocked on my door, interrupting my sad thoughts.
Hey Zozo, I know you're disappointed, but I wanted to show you an addition I've made to our home here. Come and look.
I followed her all the way to a new watchtower. Oh, this is pretty cool. Thank you, Grace. I feel better. While Grace and I were admiring the watchtower and all the watching we'd be able to do up there, Patrick joined me.
Take a look at what I found.
He handed me a magic apple. Hey, this is like the one you told me about.
Not just like it, it's the same one. Try it.
I ate the apple, and I felt myself growing bigger and more powerful. My hearts increased to 60, and I gained a new attack. I could shoot a fireball. I'll show that Dread Beast what being a fire eel is all about. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled back to the cold swamplands. This time, if the Dread Beast ambushes me again, I'll be ready. I didn't spot him anywhere, but I was able to test out my new strength and my fireball on an undead scorpion that tried to sting me. Nice try, but I'm not a little fire eel that people can pick on anymore. I'm a big, strong eel that plays by my own rules. That awesome act of firepower attracted the attention of a friendly polar bear.
You sure are. I know what that's like. Well, not the being an eel part. As you can see, I'm a polar bear.
Hi. I decided to sit with the polar bear for a little while, and when I finally got up to go, he stopped me for a second.
Thanks for the company. Hey, is that netherite? Attach it to your sword, like this.
Then he crafted a netherite sword for me. Thank you, this is great! From day 85 to day 89, I said goodbye to the nice polar bear and took my new netherite sword back to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had destroyed my new watchtower. Hey, Grace worked really hard on that. I looked around for the culprit, and I saw a ghost floating away into the Badlands. Oh, no you don't. I chased after the ghost as fast as I could. As I did, a painted kitty stopped me.
Excuse me? Could you point the way to the birch forest? I'm terribly lost.
I quickly pointed her in the right direction, then kept running after the ghost. Looks like he's running toward the cold swamplands. From day 90 to day 94, I finally managed to catch up with the ghost. He ran into the Dread Beast's hideout. I stopped just outside. I'm not ready to go in there yet, but I can wait out here and see what happens. The ghost came back out of the hideout like he was looking for me. I got a better look at him and saw that he wasn't just a ghost. He was a huge, tough-looking dread ghoul.
My. Look who took the bait. It's the main course for the coming feast.
I'm so sick of you all saying stuff like that.
Then try and stop me, if you dare.
I shot a fireball at the dread ghoul, and it barely even fazed him. Uh-oh, he's the toughest minion I've fought yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the dread ghoul. I really need to do my best if I'm gonna win this one. With the help of my new netherite sword, I was finally able to knock the dread ghoul down for good. His helmet fell to the floor, and I grabbed it. It was netherite. This goes great with my sword. Hey, what's this? I spotted a note on the ground. It says the Dread Beast is getting worried about me. He thinks I might be able to destroy him before he can eat me and fulfill the prophecy. This is great news. It means I'm definitely on the right track. I can't back down. I've got to get everything I possibly need before I enter the final battle. On day 98, I returned to my base. Grace the Gorgon and the rest were waiting for me. I'm really starting to think I can do this. I wasn't so sure before, but now I know everything will work out.
It will. And look, I fixed the watchtower. The Dread Beast and his ilk can't keep us down.
Yeah! Next, I spoke to Patrick the Panda.
Zozo, before you head on out of here to fight that big boss, take this. It's a potion of strength. It'll power you up good.
Thank you. This is just what I need. And finally, Sid the Cyclops.
I don't have any potions or any repairs done. Just this. I may only have one eye, but I can see a bright future ahead of you, and the rest of us too. Because you're gonna do it, kid.
Thank you. Well, no more waiting around. I've got to go see a Dread Beast about a battle. On day 99, I traveled back to the cold swamplands and the Dread Beast's hideout. When I got there, I started to get pretty worried because the whole place was crawling with ghosts. Well, they were floating, but they were everywhere. But the maned wolf from before came bounding up to me.
I can handle these ghosts. You get inside while I keep them busy.
While the maned wolf took care of the ghost, I finally entered the Dread Beast clubhouse. On day 100, I entered the Dread Beast base and found him waiting there for me.
Yes, I knew you'd be here soon. My stomach has been growling. Time to feast.
Why do you have to eat all these innocent victims? Why can't you just have some pie or a sandwich like everybody else?
Because no sandwich in this world tastes sweeter than absolute power.
What about pie? Pie's pretty sweet.
Enough talk. I'm much too hungry, and I'm craving fire eel.
He lunged at me and attacked, but I was ready. I dodged him and shot back a fireball in return. It hit him, but he kept going. He rushed at me again, and this time he knocked me back. But I wasn't done yet. I used my netherite sword to get the upper hand.
Zozo, imagine it. If you join my ghostly army, then you will share in my infinite power. The world will be ours.
No thanks, I'm not taking that deal. I drank the strength potion and finally got the better of him. And with one more swipe of my sword, I destroyed the mighty, terrible Dread Beast. I did it! I saved the day! I'll say it, this eel is on fire!